Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, the Car Should Be Business channel. My name is Jay. You know, my goal every Tuesday night is to bring you another trade show level business presentation to you wherever you are, because your automotive business deserves the latest in transportation news. And if you're busy, and I know you are, in a minute, if you're watching on demand, I'm going to give the welcome show lineup, and you'll be able to use the clickable video time code links in the description below. Those will be ready in a couple days. In the meantime, please do tell your friends. Remember to like, share, comment. Thanks for watching ATI. We sure do appreciate it. What challenges do consignors face when working with auto auctions, and what solutions can your business offer them to help? What feedback do consignors have for physical and digital auctions, and how well are their needs being addressed? Tonight, Ty and I are handing the microphones over to Kelly Bianchi at AuctionVcommerce and Jamye Carpenter of AutoCheck Auctions, so they can better explain what this is all about. And they're inviting their own consignors panel featuring Sheila Tedesco, Scott Mousaw, Scott France, and Jerry Barker, plus special guest Joe Miller with AutoIMS. So please, join the live chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts, grow your business, break out of your vertical. Because it's Tuesday nights live on ATI Auto Business. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. We have another extraordinary show and lineup and panel. So let me just say this. Please do feel welcome. If it's your first time here, please do feel welcome. This is ATI Auto Business, and this is the neutral zone. We welcome everybody, carriers, dealers, auctions, tech, logistics, brokers, dispatchers, everybody. Please feel free to say hello in the live chat. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know who you're giving a shout out to. Why? What feedback do you have? What question is burning inside of you? We're going to go into industry news at the quarter hour. We always do this. First, we got some shout outs and thank yous, and then we've got some news, trivia questions. It's a pretty good time. Then we're going to bring in Ty Thompson, as we always do. And Ty is going to help me introduce what in the heck we're doing around here. It wasn't long ago we were said, what's a consignor? Well, we've moved beyond what's a consignor, and now we've got full-on auto auction, consignor, services, feedback, panel. Kelly Bianchi and Jamye Carpenter are going to explain much more about it, better than I even ever could hope to do so. And they're going to bring in the consignors panel with Sheila Tedesco, Scott Mousaw, Scott France, Jerry Barker, and we even have special guest Joe Miller of AutoIMS. If you're looking to learn something, this show, I promise you're going to learn things you didn't know on both sides of the aisle. from every angle of how you view the ecosystem, you are going to learn something tonight. So please pile into the live chat. Oh, do me a favor. Please click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link, or just leave a like. There's got to be one laying around here somewhere that you can just slap on the screen. Thank you so much. We sure do appreciate it. And if you're lost in car shipping, whether you're a carrier, you want to learn about brokering, we covered that on last Friday. You're looking at equipment. I don't know what you're doing. And I don't even know why you're doing it. But if you just need a second opinion, 417-483-2764. And Ty, he's in the live chat. He's happy to give it. He wants to hear from you. So do me a favor, stick around, because right after this, we're going to go into the live chat.
Everybody wants to be part of a bigger story. Auto transport is a vital part of that story. Vehicle reconditioning starts when your transport arrives at the dealership. The story starts with you. For our auto retail customers, as yours, full satisfaction.
Why is auto shipping such a challenge? If shipping cars is part of your job, you've wasted time assigning and tracking shipments, waited around while deadlines are missed, and struggled getting anyone to answer your questions. And if you're a carrier moving cars, you've wasted time with bad contact info and shipments that aren't available, waited around for help locating vehicles and receiving payments, and struggled getting anyone to answer your questions. At PAL, we integrate systems for seamless API automations, provide daily email updates, custom portals and reporting, provide ACH quick pays, and we never hide from any questions. Join the auto logistics revolution because it's time to do things better. Preowned Auto Logistics, vehicle transportation made safe, reliable, and easy.
Preowned Auto Logistics provides car shippers with experienced professional drivers, a fully insured modern fleet, and friendly, knowledgeable customer service. Visit preownedautologistics.com. Links in the live chat, phone number, email. All right, let's do this. Let's go into the live chat. Let's say hello. What is going on this evening? Oh, Kimberly. Kimberly got in here first. Welcome to Tuesday Nights Live. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. We sure do appreciate it. It's Tuesday night. You could be anywhere, and you're here, and we really do appreciate that. That's very nice. Ty is here. He loves consignors. See, and that's what's... Everybody should. I don't think everybody knows this, Ty. If you work in logistics, you should love consignors. We're going to explain why. So... that's why Ty loves consignors. Chris Chamberlain is here. What's up, Chris? Making martinis in the live chat. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Everything goes back into the channel. So, are you serious? We've already got... Dude, we just fired up the stream. But, you know, I mean, right. You've got to... When something's not working, then you got to update the... Yeah, I know. Bear with me here. Gotta clean up the community, right? Unbelievable. All right, here we go. All right, cool. I think we're okay now. We're back on track. Mark Grodicke is in here. Show 271 in a row. Thanks, Mark. That's right. It is 271 in a row. And 271 Tuesday Nights Live in a row. Can you believe it? And I'm sitting here, you know, I'm getting ready for the show. I can't believe it either. Like, really? I mean, 271 in a row? Why would anybody do that? Well, we're doing it. And you're here with me, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. The car business is fascinating. The automotive business is very fascinating. I can't think of another industry where I could do 271 in a row. Like healthcare, what would that look like? Tonight, we have a stethoscope. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that's really good. Somebody should write that down. Let's see. No, slow and slower. Right into drain. Right, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, talking about, yeah, actually, well, that's it. There are Well, there's mixed reports. I mean, I think we'll just keep going. JT, what's up? Hello, JT. Thanks for tuning in, saying hello. And by the way, we played the game on Dispatching Live. Feel free to do this. Where are you coming from? Are you a dealer? Are you a carrier? Are you a shipper? Are you a consigner? You know, let us know, and then we'll have a running tally, and then maybe there's prizes at the end. Joe Miller's here. Consignors drive me crazy in all the right ways. There you go, Joe. Thanks so much. Thank you, Joe, for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We value your time. That's awesome. Thank you so much for showing up, especially in the live chat. And I say this to everybody. Free advertising in the live chat on Tuesdays. You know, why not? Carlos Braxton is here. Part of the core. Carlos has been with us since the early days. Man, that's awesome. When we were like shooting this on VHS and stuff. Kelly Bianchi, AuctionVcommerce, in the live chat. She's going to be up on center stage soon, so that's pretty cool, too. Yeah, so that's, kind of it for the live chat, and keep jumping into the live chat. We'll go into industry news in a minute. I just want to say this, that, these shows, the way they come together, they're all a little bit different. Kelly... When we started, we had you on a show, Auto Auction Experience. It was about 2 months ago. And then did a follow-up, got ATI inside of the app, from the AVC dealer app. And then, hey, do you want to do another show? Yeah, let's do a show with Consignors. Let's talk about it more after Used Car Week. And then we did that, and then suddenly the show's put together, and Jamye Carpenter. Shout out to Jamye Carpenter, right? I see Jamie's in the live chat. What's up? What's neat is Jamie. I think it was at Used Car Week, probably in a hallway. It's the trade show hallways. That's where the magic happens, and or on the expo floor. And I said, hey, Jamie, I want to introduce myself. This is right. This is real stuff. I want to introduce myself. I don't think you know who I am, but I think I know who you are. I've seen you on LinkedIn. I want to say hello, and I want to connect. And I don't even know. I don't have anything important to say. So you're free to go at any time. But I would love to connect and find out how can I help you. I have a YouTube channel. This is what I do. I want to put content together that helps you and helps the ecosystem. And now we're having a conversation. And now she's in the live chat. And she's going to be on the show. That's how it works. It's really cool. I love it. Daryl Hall, Hall Auto Transport LLC is in the live chat. What's up, Daryl? Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for putting your company name. Love that. Michelle Pirog is here. Saw Michelle at the... Okay. John Robertson hosted Shipping and Storing EVs, a panel on Monday afternoon, and Michelle Pirog was on the panel with Dan Kennedy and Ty Thompson, and John hosted, and I think Jamie was in the room, huh? How about that? How much Used Car Week can we get, like, weeks after Used Car Week? It's December, and we're still feeling, the energy from Used Car Week. So shout out to Bill Zadice, everybody, and Joe Overby, what an amazing time. Angela Williams is here. Hey, what's up, Angela? Thanks for tuning in, saying hello. We do have a consignors panel tonight. If you're a consigner, and you want to connect with our ecosystem, or participate in tonight's show, or whatever it is, please do let us know how we can help you. So please stick around. Let's keep the live chat open. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight to ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. I'm your host, and I'll be right back after this with industry news. Stick around.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Searching for that midnight auto shipping quote and new lead software you can trust. Provide instant, accurate quotes online with Transport Auto Quoter, and move cars fast with Pro ABD CRM. Visit superflowsystems.com. Links in the live chat, email, phone number. Here we go. This is it. It is show 271 in a row. And it's time for some industry news. Courting the Consignor. Here we go with Kelly and Jamye. I just want to mention last week we had 2023 Industry Outlook. Me and Ty spent a long time catching up. We had a Jay and Ty meeting live. And before that, we had Used Car Week Evolution 2022. That was an amazing show featuring Joe Overby and an amazing panel of takeaways of the show. We can't stop talking about Used Car Week. Why would we do that? What an event. And before that, and this was talked about at Used Car Week, the Titans of Car Shipping on ATI Auto Business. We're so proud to have proven we are the ecosystem's neutral zone. So you will see all businesses talked about here, and feel free to participate and be in panels that would never otherwise exist. We also had, a month or two ago, Ladies Dealer Auction Tech. Kelly Bianchi was on that show. She made her debut here on ATI on Auto Auction Experience. And tonight we're handing it over. Yep, that's right. This is Kelly and Jamye on ATI Tuesday Nights Live. And they're gearing up. I can see they're ready to go. This is awesome. All right, so Kelly and Jamye, hang on a little bit longer. By the way, I just want to mention Kelly's website, AuctionVcommerce. Go to AuctionVcommerce.com. Feel free to put that in the live chat. AVC Dealer app can also be downloaded. And you will find ATI Auto Business in the app. If you click on Watch, you can watch ATI inside of Kelly's app. Go ahead and download it on the App Store or Google Play Store. Again, that's AuctionVcommerce ABC Dealers app. Jamye is with AutoCheck Auctions, and Jamye is also here tonight. We're really excited. This is Jamie's first time on ATI, and now part of the ecosystem. She'll never be the same because we connect the back of the store to the front of the store, and we keep explaining why. I love it so much. So if you are stuck on one side of the store, walk around to the other side. I'm telling you, if you're always in the front of the store, walk around back. Step over the tires, watch out for the oil, but, see if you can strike up a conversation. If you don't know what to say, watch ATI Auto Business will help you. We look at the entire ecosystem. That's how we got this far, and we're going to just keep on going. Tonight's show, auctions, services, shippers, consignors, as they connect to carriers and loads, and there's brokering in there too, and dealers. There's a lot happening. And so let's go into just some stories recently as we dip a toe into the news. Cam Hitchcock retiring from America's Auto Auction, and Chuck Tapp to become CEO. I'm sure everybody at Used Car Week saw this is pretty big news at America's Group. I wanted to mention this drop today. Dealers Talk podcast had me on the show. on Dealer Talk Podcast. That was great. Thank you so much, Herb Anderson and Charity Ann, for having me on there. You can find that on YouTube or any streaming platform near you. Let's see. A tweet from President Biden. We're building 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations across the country. The Great American Road Trip will be fully electrified. And Elon Musk says, or you can just buy a Tesla. So, see, we have automotive jokes. You can send in your comments to autotransportintel@gmail.com. I just want to say thank you, Pamela Patton, for showing up in the live chat. It was awesome. Jamie, you'll never be the same. Oh, it's funny. Okay, so anyways, this is how you get your car shipping business news. What you want to do is you want to throw it up on the big screen, because every Tuesday, that's where I step right up. I got 5 new questions. You want to play Are You a Car Shipping Guru? You want to play Ask Larry. It's powered by ATI and Superflow. 5 new questions. All right, here we go. Question 1. You ready? All right, here we go. What is Simulcast? An annual auto reconditioning speed competition? When online car dealers sell the same car at the same time? Online and in-lane bidding at the same time, competing to win an auto auction bid? Or a new show on Netflix about synchronized fly fishing? Please jump in the live chat. Not all at once. Don't simul chat. Okay. And wrong button there. Okay. Does simulcast mean... let's see. C. Interesting. Okay, so you don't mean an auto recon speed competition, Ty? Do you mean... Wait, there actually, when online car dealers sell the same car at the same time, isn't there something for that? Simul sale? Online and inline bidding at the same time, competing to win an auto auction bid. Is that simulcast? Or is it a new show on Netflix about synchronized fly fishing? Joe Miller's got it. It's fly fishing. Online and in lane. See, but that probably drove it home from somebody now knows. Wrong button again. Somebody now knows what simulcast means. So we got one. Just one. All right, here we go. Question 2. Oh, there it is. Hey, what is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2016 Honda Civic from Palatine, Illinois to Duarte, California? Is it $425, $605, $890, or $1295? What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount? 2016 Honda Civic. Okay, where's Palatine? Is that near Nauvoo, Illinois, or Duarte, California? To Duarte. It's not either or. You don't get to pick. We're not online. This isn't simul sale. The rates seemed like they were up. Yeah, Carlos, $12.95 could be. I'm a pessimist. I'm going to go with $8.90. Carlos has got $12.95. Anybody else? Do I hear $4.25? Do I hear $4.50? Can I get a $6.05, $6.75? Anybody with fly fishing? No? I mean, do you know what cars go for? How about a consignor? What's the consignor think it costs to send a Honda Civic from Emperor Palpatine over to Duarte? Do you know? That's why we do this game, actually. Because if you're a carrier, you have an edge. But if you are, if you're a consignor, you might think it's $425. See? Daryl Hall, he's a carrier. He knows it's $30,000. What he meant was $300,000. It ain't cheap. That's why we do this. $19.95. See, and then you'll get somebody that'll do it for like $50 less, which means they owe the broker carry the one. Yeah, That's right. The broker fee is you're going to owe me $30. All right. All right, let's see what it is. All right, Carlos, I hope you're right. I'm going to give this a drum roll. See? Pessimism wins the day. See? Which, you know, if you're a carrier, what are your expenses after pickup, delivery, insurance, dental, vision? Oh, you don't get that? Yeah, you don't get any benefits. How about the parking space and the shower and the cold burrito and the nights of rain and crying? Okay, take it easy. Question 3. Which of the following is not considered a commercial institutional consignor at auction? Is it a fleet management company, an auto lender, franchise dealer group, or a rental car company? The last one was for carriers. This one's for consignors. Which of the following is not considered a commercial institutional consignor at auction? Fleet management company, auto lender, franchise dealer group, or rental car company? Right, and the car puller. Yeah, oh, brother. And then what? Then you're 5 miles from the... Okay. Joe knows. Joe knows. Oh, look at that. Thank you so much, Mark Rodeke. Making martinis in the super chat. Thank you so much, Mark. Really do appreciate that. Oh, I can tell who's a consignor. Scott Mousaw's here. He's going to be on the consignors panel. Oh, and Michelle's got it too. Franchise dealer group. Well done. That's awesome. That is the answer. Franchise dealer group. Now, I will tell you, I'm going to need more information. So let's bookmark that. I want to hear why that is. It rhymes with Schmealer. That is fantastic. Well done. All right, here we go. Question 4. Ready? What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2021 Ford Bronco from Bluffton, Georgia to Lakeville, Minnesota? Is it $537, $25, $970, or $1,100? All right, so we got a run and drive Bronco, which I like those because, right, those are shorter. Well, I'm thinking of Jeeps, but I think they're a bit shorter. Give you a little bit of extra room so you can pick up that long bed King Ranch with a bull nose and a fire pit from Bluffton, Georgia to Lakeville, Minnesota. I want to say 1,100, but my pessimism, I can't give up the pessimism. Oh, Eric's here. Eric Elizondo, thanks for tuning in and saying hello. That's awesome. Yeah, Scott's chiming in. Well, great. Good. He's awake? Candy's here. What's up, Candy? So cool. 1,100. Angela's got 1,100. Sometimes it's those really low numbers and you just want to... Yeah. Speaking of boo, if you've got an extra like, help us out. I know there's one laying around here. I know there is. And if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. I keep hitting the wrong button, which is wonderful. All right, let's see this answer, Jay. Is it 1,100? Going once. Going twice? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, man. Really needed to be. And even after you do all the calculations, I mean, how much money did you really profit? Is it gross? Is it net? What did you get? Question 5. This technology provider facilitates the vehicle workflow between consignor and auction. Is it AuctionEdge, AutoIMS, Velocicast, or Liquid Motors? Boy, you really see the change between questions here. It is like skiing. Party of one. Is it Auction Edge? This technology provider facilitates the vehicle workflow between consignor and auction. Auction Edge, AutoIMS, Velocicast, or Liquid Motors? I know the consignor's got this one locked up, but let's see. Can a carrier or dispatcher get this? See, Joe doesn't know. Oh, Candy's got a guess. Candy says Velocicast. Right. Who's this Joe guy? All right. This technology provider facilitates the vehicle workflow between consignor and auction. It is AutoIMS. AutoIMS facilitates the vehicle workflow between consignor and auction, and more. AutoIMS does a lot, which is why AutoIMS is in our oh, Scott, great, we have a debate. AutoIMS is our special solutions guest tonight after the consignors panel. We're halfway through the news. I hope you're having fun. We have, well, we got hard news coming up next, so do me a favor, stick around. Oh, wait, I didn't even finish? Wow, you really jump into it. Oh, there it is. Like, I really needed that screen. Oh, too many shows, too little time. Do me a favor, we'll stick around. We'll be right back after this. Thank you. Ship Your Car Now presents Integrated Automotive Transportation Solutions. When your car buying customers are on your dealership website shopping for vehicles, they can easily find an instant shipping quote. By entering simple information, first name, last name, email, and phone number, delivery zip, delivery state, and clicking the button, Get Your Shipping Quote. Choose from express shipping, enclosed transport, and proceed to checkout. Review the order summary, enter the delivery street address and city, and click Next. Simply enter your credit card information just like any other online shopping cart. And when you're ready, click Review Your Shipping Order. Check your shipping order one more time and choose Proceed to Checkout. Your delivery is all set. If you want to ship your car now, go to Ship Your Car Now. Ship Your Car Now provides a full suite of vehicle shipping services for all types of businesses. That's why Ship Your Car Now offers trusted carriers, good paying loads that pay fast. Visit shipyourcarnow.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those links are in the live chat. It is now time for Industry News Part 2. Here we go, big news. You may have heard this. Carvana's third-party marketplace program is in question. The exact status of the program, in which Carvana listed used cars and trucks from dealer partners and other third-party sources for sale on its website alongside Carvana-owned and certified vehicles, not clear. It's going to be a no-go, not sure. Carvana's pulling back on its third-party marketplace program. The exact status of the program in which Carvana would list those vehicles, it's not clear. The fate has been in question after a screenshot of an apparent program termination notice to the company's dealer partners circulated on social media. Yeah, that'll probably do it. That screenshot said the company wouldn't accept new vehicle listings from dealers after November 30th. Carvana had declined to answer queries about the program status at that time. Awkward. CEO Ernie Garcia confirmed the pullback last month in response to a question during a video teleconference session at Used Car Week, where he acknowledged that Carvana had moved its focus away from the program, alluding to rising cost of capital and tougher economic environment in 2022. When that happens, you have to put some things off that you believe in, but for now, and I think that's basically the choice that we made there. So, yeah, if you hadn't heard that, I actually didn't know that until I read that. I missed the, I missed Ernie at Used Car Week. Did you guys catch that panel? I didn't see it. Dang it. I would have known sooner. Rail strike looms again. Well, not so fast. Biden signs controversial railway contract bill. Rail workers win higher wages, but not sick leave. This could interest you. Oh, if you could see it, it might. President Joe Biden signed a landmark bill designed to avoid a rail worker strike, delivering a 24% raise and other cash benefits to railway workers, but leaving out the paid sick leave. Okay, let's dive further into that. Because the bill passed the Senate 80-15. Okay, that's pretty, pretty straightforward. Railway worker unions had been arguing for, they wanted 15 sick days each year instead of one personal day. Democrats split the difference and got 7 paid sick days. But some union reps said they're not happy and that the president turned his back on us. See, so you can't win. Railway companies and unions donated millions of dollars to sitting members of Congress over the past 10 years. By the way, potential impact on the auto industry. Up to 30% of U.S. freight is shipped by rail, and a strike could cost the American economy up to $2 billion a day. Yeah, you might want to give them some sick days. The loss of rail service would have prevented auto suppliers from delivering necessary components, idling assembly lines throughout the industry. A strike would also prevent automakers from distributing finished vehicle logistics from factories or port facilities to dealers. More than half of all new vehicles are transported by rail for at least part of their journey from manufacturers to consumers. Yeah, seems like a pretty good decision. Hey, the Senate is proposing $755 million for truck parking. And more than proposing, it seems like finally, maybe this time something will happen. Senate lawmakers realize, you got American Trucking Association and OIDA, Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association, both pounding on the door. Please give us parking. Here's a quote from Todd Spencer, president of OIDA. There's only one parking spot for every 11 trucks on the road. That'll wake you up in the night. Do you know how many trucks hit other trucks trying to park on on-ramps and whatnot? It's ridiculous. If you didn't see this is interesting. No, not that one. From a distant corner, a harbinger of good times for the auto industry. Good times. It's a little waffly there, but tool makers for automakers are seeing a wave of new business headed their way, a sign that things are about to get busier. Tool makers. Really, tool makers. Economists are keeping an eye out for signs of U.S. recession, but one early indicator of business conditions ahead is signaling that the auto industry is moving into some good times. And I'm not sure. Orders for vehicle tooling, an activity that reveals when vehicle programs are stirring, are rising and will likely experience 13% compound annual growth from the next year through 2025. According to a forecast from Harbor Results, Inc. The increase in it is significant because automotive tooling activity has been on a downward curve for the past 3 years. So even any slight uptick could be good. The coming change is not a reflection of the pandemic's disappearance from automakers' business plans, but rather a sign that companies are preparing for redesigns and variations of bread and butter products, such as full-size pickups. Note, it's not electric vehicles that are going to make the big impact on the industry, said Lori Harbour, CEO of Harbor Results, as pictured. It's the beginning of the new cycle of internal combustion pickups and other models. Yes, we have all these new battery electric products coming, and that's what everyone's watching, but the work on internal combustion products is going to create a lot of new industry activity. I'm just reading it. But the challenge for this new wave of product development will be human resources. Sounds like driver shortage. Tool makers have struggled for years to recruit and train young talent to grow their businesses and replace skilled employees who are aging out. Many of them are trying new approaches to attract young people. They advertise online. They do TikToks. I added that. They invite recruits to bring their friends. It's having some success across the sector, but it's a very difficult challenge, not just for them, but for the whole industry. People represent shop capacity, and the industry is going to need more shop capacity. Used EVs top market for the first time briefly. The average 3-year-old EV never broke 35% of sticker for that month pre-pandemic, but 3-year-old models held 66% of sticker price in October. Alex Yurchenko, Black Book, at Used Car Week again speculated higher gas prices did make a difference, but there's been a very steep drop in the percent of sticker price held by 2- to 4-year-old EVs. But in October, late model EVs had fallen below the market in the percentage of value held. Hey, here's another quick story. CarMax settles charges it did not disclose in U.S. vehicle recalls. Paying $1 million to resolve claims by 36 states. It failed to disclose recalls. Just trying to, don't want to, yeah. Cox Automotive offers independent dealers route to more vehicles, right? And what I'm trying to say is fair and balanced, neutral zone. Everybody gets some. Cox Automotive offers independent dealers through, let's see, we've got Next Gear Capital alongside vAuto, Upside Direct. They've teamed up to alleviate vehicle inventory pressures and enable independent dealers to get the vehicles they need. At Next Gear Capital, dedicated to providing clients access to capital, but beyond that, to partner in the ecosystem to ensure that clients have tools they need to make smarter, more informed, and more confident inventory decisions. Next Gear Capital and vAuto have extended the offer that gives Next Gear Capital clients 50% off the regular Stockwave subscription price for the first 4 months when they sign up as customers. Stockwave enables them to access vehicles from 300 plus marketplaces alongside the most complete set of wholesale and retail data. And here you go. Connor Nix, owner of Florida Cars in Fort Wayne, Indiana, says he signed up for Stockwave in August because he was having a hard time finding the vehicles and the quality inventory that he needed. Stockwave allowed him to spend less time looking for cars. See? Stockwave, Upside Direct. Upside Direct offers digital auction experience. UpsideDirect.com. Let's keep going. GM looks to make more money off customers after they buy a car. What? In July, luxury automaker BMW started selling some new eye-popping subscription-based services in various countries, including charging drivers $18 a month for heated seats and $10 a month for heated steering wheel. Okay. Now, wait a minute. I don't think they're doing that now, but it's something to think about. Just trying to give you things to think about before we blow your mind with the Consignors panel. Electric vehicles are comprised of about 25% fewer parts than gas cars. So we're moving into a world of simplification in terms of hardware, and we'll capitalize on it in different segments based on what people's desires are and what they want to buy in software. And scene. Oh, one more article. If you're not in, you're out. This is pretty interesting. James Ziegler, the Alpha Dog, brought this up. It seems that he hit a nerve bringing up a subject that was already on everybody's mind, but nobody wanted to talk about it until he said, Jim, I've been considering doing that, but it's a big commitment, and I was wondering how it would work in my market. What are we talking about? The truth is that every dealer needs to seriously consider building and operating a standalone used car dealership with no ties to the manufacturer, which would probably run pretty opposite the main narrative in automotive today. But Lithium Motors is conducting an aggressive rollout with their driveway dealerships, Group 1 Automotive expanding Acceleride platform, Asbury Automotive has ClickLane, Sonic Automotive with its e-commerce platform of EchoPark used vehicle only business, and Penske a little bit tighter to the vest, but numbers are conceivably substantial for their used and CPO platform, CarShop. So something to think about as you break out of your vertical and grow your business further. If the dealer wants more evidence, just look at how your manufacturers are trying to weasel into the used car business using your inventory, making you take all the risks and making all the investments. It's feedback time. It puzzles me why any dealer would even consider allowing the manufacturer or any vendor access to your used car business. A dealer would have to be crazy to sign up and allow GM's Car Bravo, Ford's Blue Advantage, or any other vendors dying to be your partner in a joint used car venture. In Jim's opinion, you must be absolutely nuts if you want to allow a manufacturer or vendor into your customer data. And on the article goes. But it's good that you can share your opinions. Opinions? You can do that. And you can listen to the podcast. Please do. Listen to ATI. Join the conversation. Join the live chat. Put it in the comments below. It's ATI Auto Business. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, you can text Ty 417-483-2764. By the way, yeah, 45 minutes into the show, mic check 1 2 3, we're okay. We go live several times a week. Not every week do we make it to 4 times, but we are this week. Yeah, this week we're going 4 times. We're going to do live carrier advice tomorrow at noon. So if you're a carrier, dispatcher, broker, or even a consignor, you want to walk around to the back of the store, join us on Live Carrier Advice, 30-minute live show with your DOT guy, Brian Riker. Of course, Thursdays are Thermonuclear Thursdays. Why? Because we give the load board truth bombs on Dispatching Live. That's a good show. If you think this show's fun, wait till you show up on Thursdays. Last Thursday, actually, we broke the news that FMCSA has not only defined, but it seems legitimized dispatching. Unbelievable. I know, I'm shocked too. And then Fridays, we connect dealers, auctions, and carriers on Cars on the Move. Last Friday, we asked the question, can a carrier be the broker? Because if you're not happy with the rates, maybe you can get the business, manage the leads, get the CRM, get the TMS, and all that goes with it. So this Friday, we're going to do EV Changes Everything. We're featuring Scott Case from Recurrent, John Combs from Odessa. That is going to be an amazing show. And actually, next Friday on Cars on the Move, we have Winter Shipping Toolbox with Michelle Hutchinson of Ship Your Car Now. That's going to be another great Toolbox show with Michelle. And finally, next Tuesday night on ATI Auto Business, McCollister's Delivering Cars, Technology, and Analytics with Marco Maggiore, Keith Bradley, John Wise, Kevin Parada, Emma Pearl. That's going to be a great show. So look you'll see this thumbnail coming soon to a social media near you. This is the Car Shipping Business Channel. My name is Jay. And once I get started, it's going to be hard. This is going to be hard because pretty soon we have to hand all the microphones over to Kelly and Jamie. Can we do it? Stick around. Let's see if that can be done. Right after this, we have Ty. We'll be right back.
McCollister's has been around for over 76 years, and we're known as providing our customers with high-level, white-glove, concierge-style services. We provide our customers solutions in both transportation, logistics, and warehousing.
We take a very different approach than most auto logistics companies. Our approach is one of being consultative and adaptive to the auto industry. Our approach saves time and money while providing tangible data, which helps improve processes.
McCollister's offers a unique tech solution, which we call our AutoVista portal. It's a cloud-based solution. It provides the ability for our dealership partners to access it using any device they want whenever they need.
Most auto logistics companies just want to deliver your car. We want to do more than that. All of those measurements that are important to you to run your business and understand where your costs are, McCollister's AutoVista technology supports that.
It's a car shipping performance data management tool. That's why car dealers love the AutoVista portal by McCollister's Transportation Group. Find out what you're missing. Visit McCollisters.com. Links are in the live chat. Email, phone number. And Marco and gang will be on next Tuesday night. The AutoVista portal. We've been talking about it at trade shows. And so we're going to learn more about it Tuesday night. It's going to be great. It's a data performance management tool. Really, what does it do? Okay, here we go. It is now time up on center stage to welcome our friend and transportation guide, Ty Thompson. Can you see me okay, Ty?
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Hey, man, good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Whoa, what was that? That was weird.
Yo.
No, I'm doing really well. Looking forward to tonight's show. I met originally, so I was thinking about this today. I met Kelly first, then I met Jamie, and I met Joe somewhere in the middle there. The other people, I missed the meeting, but I'm looking forward to meeting everybody tonight. It's going to be fun. And you guys are going to love this show too, by the way. Jay and I are just going to sit here and not look at and not even talk. I'm not even going to be on the screen.
I know. I'm going to, so what we'll, okay, it's 7:50, which is about exactly the time that I said that I would bring you in. What we'll do is we're just going to talk for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So officially, camera one, Kelly and Jamie, go ahead and get ready, because we really want to hand this over to you. Now, before we do that, I guess what we should do then is explain to, the ATI core, what are we doing? What are we doing and why are we doing this? Can we explain this?
We can give it a try.
We can give it a try.
And we're going to learn some stuff tonight too, guys. So that's why I'm pretty excited because, see, the consignor to me has always been the person that wants the car to hurry up and get to the auction, right? I need my car to get to the auction. Then the buyer, which is traditionally the dealer, he needs it to get out of the auction. So the consignor has always been something that I've just kind of watched from a distance. I think, okay, how did the car originally get to the auction? What happened? Was it a repo? Was it a lease? Was it a turn-in, a trade-in? I don't know, right? Fleet lease, probably a lot of cars. So when we get to like right there, that part, that's where I always get really excited is where did the car really come from?
That's right. Okay, so that's right. So we'll stop there because we like to talk about when we get past where'd you get that idea, right? Once we're past that, then what are you hauling and why, right?
Yeah.
What is that car? Because
right.
You don't have to know. We know. You don't have to know what you're hauling and why. But if you're thinking about your truck and trailer as a business, then you should want to know what you're hauling and why. Not just what it pays, not just where it goes, but why, Ty.
Right. Well, and that ties in to me. This is one of the reasons I get really excited about this, because this explains why people always want to know where's the car. When you get the fourth phone call, how come you're not here yet? Or the sixth phone call, you said you were going to be here 2 hours ago, and you're like, good. Are these people really that upset or really that concerned with this car right now? Yeah, there is, and there's a reason why. And that's why I get excited. I get excited to know the why. Why are these people calling wanting to know where their car's at?
It actually, it doesn't help. If you're driving around for 2 hours looking for a parking spot, and your ELD's going crazy and everything else, okay, maybe you don't want to know why at that time. But when your phone is ringing off the hook and you've got a moment to breathe, if you know why, then you can probably accept that phone call a little easier and maybe even, hey,
you can capitalize off that. It's capital. You can build, this is what we talk about. You can build your business. The more you understand the why behind all of what we're talking about, the better you will get along. And the more you watch tonight's show, I Got a Dollar says that everybody on this show tonight will love you even more if you can just do what you say you're going to do.
We know what dealers are. What are consignors? Let's hit it again. If you're just tuning in now and you're saying to yourself, what's a consignor? What's a consignor?
What's a consignor?
What can we give a basic definition?
Well, you and I were talking the other day, right?
It's challenging for us. Yeah, but it is.
What's the difference between a remarketer and a consignor?
We're live trying to figure out what a consignor is.
And we're got a whole show for according to consignor. Man, you guys are awesome.
A consignor, my understanding, is a consignor is an individual representing a company that has lots of vehicles that need to be sold at auction. Am I close? All right. So if that's the case, there's a dispatcher somewhere that just dropped their, what? A bunch of vehicles? One person? A bunch of vehicles? That's right. AKA gold mine right?
Yeah.
You want to talk to this person.
You want to know the consignor.
Right? Or you can stare at a load board all day and pray for a car to drop. Or talk to a consignor. That's why consignors are that's why it's such a big deal.
Well, right. So then the consignor makes a deal with the auction, right? And then this is what's fun.
Thank you, Joe. And by the way, Joe put, a consignor is an individual or party that brings a good to be sold on their behalf by another party. Obviously, much better definition. Thank you, Joe.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you so much. But you were saying, Ty.
Well, no, I could keep going. I think this is what, the auction. Now we're going to talk about the auction, right? Somebody made a deal, handshake, buddy deal, contract, whatever you want to call it. Consignor made a deal with the auction. What's the auction's job? Sell cars, right? That's all they do is sell cars. The Recon, don't get me wrong, they PSI, post-sale inspection. They even do a pre-sale inspection. But as a whole, the objective is to get the car sold. So we need somebody to tell somebody to go pick it up. Somebody has to pick it up. Somebody has to bring it to the auction. Then I'm assuming there's different levels of packages, like you can clean it or we can wash it off or you can just drive it through as is, right? And each one costs a certain amount of money for the car. So the auction, and this is what it really gets excited because since 2020, the physical auction has been under complete assault, in my opinion. I mean, just one after the other. So to see that physical auction, which I always get excited about certain auctions and how they open their doors and they let you come in and they do business, right? So the auction and the consignor are buddies, handshakers, right? And they need each other. And that's what's fun about tonight is because there's really some passionate people. And I love the energy that Jamye and Kelly have both and how they get very excited about this conversation.
And then because of the volume and the regularity of all this activity, it develops into its own ecosystem with its challenges of managing. Each department grows and then has its own challenges of managing all the information and the vehicles and then the new challenges, and then you add digital and you got a giant marketplace. And that's what this show is about, is focusing on just this portion.
Well, yeah, too. And Kelly will talk a lot about the Simulcast, the online sale.
Yeah.
Right. And how that pushed, that's the one that I'm excited to hear more about too, is how the online, the COVID and people closing the doors accelerated the online sales, and then what happens from there. So pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, see, and I don't say that C0V1D word much.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why, actually.
I think it's okay to say it now, though. I don't think they shadow ban you anymore.
Oh, they don't? Oh, well, you know,
at least on Twitter they don't.
Because I ran those videos of China last Tuesday night. I thought that'd be it.
There's people in the live chat right now.
Right. Now that's it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He said China 2 weeks in a row. Pull the plug. All right.
Well,
so
COVID
anyways,
and China.
But I mean, these global challenges affect our business, and that's why it's important to talk about them. And so, all right, here we go. It's 7:58. So, and I just will say, Michelle is cracking me up over here. Michelle says a very needy gold mine. And she loves needy gold mines. By the way. So that's
for
fun.
sure.
That's really great stuff. We have a lot of activity. John Putnam is here tonight. And I'm just really happy to say Tracy Clark is here tonight. And, you know, it's neat. You see it from week to week. There are folks coming in that haven't been here before, you know, because of the show topic and guests and whatever. So if it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining us tonight on ATI Auto Business. We're about to go into the second half of the show. So Kelly and Jamye, go ahead and get those, get the microphones ready and, you know, get the props department, you know, handling special effects and the dolly track and final wardrobe and all that stuff. Here we go to camera one. Please do help me welcome here on ATI, Kelly Bianchi is back with us from AuctionVcommerce, but first time on ATI, we have Jamye Carpenter, AuctionCheck Auctions,
So they need each other.
and here we go. So they're getting again the boom guy. Get the boom guy in the right spot. Well, he's got the boom facing the wrong way, and the camera's out of focus. Okay, here we go. Jamye, let me move these titles here. Jamye, can you see us and hear us okay?
Yes. Can you hear and see me okay?
We can see you. We can hear you. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello, I am Jamye, and I have been in the industry, let's see, this is going to start my 24th year. I have spent most of my career at AutoCheck. We built and created the product in 1999, and I was honored to be part of the team that created the product. Over the years, we have sold it to Experian Automotive, and so we partner with them as the exclusive reseller of the product we created. So, but it's been a lot of fun. I feel like I've grown up in the industry, and so it is an industry that I love. I love working with auctions. I love the consignors. Back when we created the product, we worked with dealers, consumers. So yeah, it's been a great ride.
Okay, so that's a solid introduction. Ty, looks like you want to say something.
I somehow I'd missed. Who did you say you partnered with?
Experian Automotive.
Experian. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
When was that?
In the early 2000s.
Okay.
So yeah, we provide all of the auction data into the product, and that gets added to the AutoCheck vehicle history report. And so that's data that's coming from us. So we've partnered with all of the auctions, and we get that data on an exclusive basis.
Whoa, that's nice.
That's what separates us from other services out there.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's great. See, every time I talk to you, I learn something new.
That's what it's all about. That's why we're here.
I know. I'm happy you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamye. All right, so before we continue, Kelly is here. Kelly Bianchi from AuctionVcommerce. Kelly, please say hello again and welcome.
Hi, I was here the whole time. I just was so into what Jamye was saying that I wasn't paying attention to the fact that my camera wasn't on. So, hi, I'm Kelly.
There's an applause button there.
I'm AuctionVcommerce.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna try and do a bit of a changing of the guard here. But before we do, Jamye, you sound like you're pretty invested in what's happening at the auction. 24 years experience. So what do you talk about regularly? What do you find, where are you at?
Well, right now there's a lot of talk around electric vehicles and what that is going to do to vehicle history, because that's going to change the dynamic, right? So no longer are we really talking about miles and how that's affecting the vehicle. We're talking about battery life, which is tied to miles, but in a different way, right? So Recurrent, you mentioned Scott's going to be on next week. They've done a great job of creating a product to capture that type of data. But what does that look like? Does that get merged with vehicle history and it is a complement? Is it a standalone product? I think that is something that is yet to be seen.
Great. All right, let's go over to Kelly. Kelly, what are you working on right now? What's taking up what you're thinking and talking about?
Well, I'm always focused on the digital advancement of the auctions. The world is changing and the auctions are slow to come around to the idea that, digital communication, digital in every process, and they have their process in place. They're strong at what they do, but it does have to evolve. And that's where the consignors come into play. And that's what interested me about doing this show, was to be able to bring the consignors into the conversation and to because they're the ones who actually, when you think about change And when it comes to the auctions, they're the ones who really started the ball rolling. They brought Simulcast into the mix. They told auctions, hey, if you want our vehicles, you need to be online. So auctions said, okay, well, we'll sign up. And they signed up to get online. But, you know, we have to put some standards in place and create a business model around that. So, and that's what we're working to do, is provide that infrastructure.
So let me say this. All right, chicken or the egg. So you're saying it was the consignors that wanted the auctions to go digital, not the auctions wanting to go digital.
No, the auctions did not go willingly. You know, the auction business is a very time-honored tradition. You have a lot of people who are well-rooted, and it's generational, and there's a lot of nostalgia. So, you know, to go online went against the grain. It went against everything the auction stood for. And, you know, I think COVID actually was a catalyst for, you know, converting some people into believing that digital was a viable option. So, you know, that gave them a little bit of push. So I'm going to be curious to see, you know, how the consignors felt COVID impacted their processes with the auctions and how things have improved and all of that.
Yeah, because we really saw several auctions that kind of banded together and said brick and mortar only. We do not want to go digital. And there was sort of this, you know, push and pull going on because you had now the need, because that's where everything's going to, but we don't want to because that's going to change everything that we know. And so, yeah, it's been interesting to see how COVID finally pushed that over the line. And it was a good thing. Like, I think the auctions finally saw that, hey, this means that there aren't as many if bids. We can sell more cars this way. And the consignors, of course, love that because who wants to deal with if bids after the sale, you know? So, yeah, I agree with Kelly. It's been a nice transition to see that finally the auctions go over that hump.
And to add to what Jamie just said, and we can have a sale when there's ice on the road and we can't open the auction.
Yeah.
So yeah, it opens a lot of doors to opportunity. And what we try to do is just to help people to realize what those opportunities are and create different ways for the customers to connect with the auctions. So.
Nice. When did you say this, Jamie? You just said something like there was some auctions that were brick and mortars, like, no, we're not doing that. Do you know a timeline on that? About what year, maybe?
That was right before COVID, actually. That was kind of the push, which is kind of ironic, right? So you had several auctions that came together, and I mean, it was we are resisting online auctions. And I think part of that was a fear of ACV and what they had brought to the market. But then once our auctions realized, hey, we can play in this space and be as, you know, productive and sell cars and do well. And it made a huge difference, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, do the auctions have to do anything in addition, any more work with having the simulcast online?
Oh yeah, the process had to change. I mean, when you added simulcast, you had to add condition reports and disclosures and, you know, just different ways. And you had to add the technology, which was a huge disruption to the business itself. But the problem is that the technology didn't bring the culture with it. So you have to develop a culture around technology, and you have to, you know, live within that that ecosystem, you know, and it's the ecosystem we all live in right now. I mean, we're all Amazon users. I mean, I don't think I've been in an audience where we don't have Prime members in the crowd, you know, and it's just something that we're used to. It's not going away. Our children are being raised on mobile devices, and these people, you know, these kids are going to take those positions one day, and they're not going to, you know, have loyalty to the way things used to be. And that's what we have to understand, and we have to change with it.
That's a good point. Good point. Okay, Jay.
Okay, so I was going to ask the timeline question, so you beat me to that. But Simulcast, now that has been around a while, right?
Probably about 20 years,
Right.
but
Yeah.
That's
That's
wild,
how I
isn't it?
met Kelly. Kelly was working on Simulcast, so that's how we actually met way back when.
yes.
So here's, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, no, well, my follow-up was, so what did it look like 20 years ago compared to today? Is there anything to add to, or maybe where it's headed next? Yeah.
My job was installing Simulcast when I first came in. You know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I entered the auction industry in 2010, and I worked for an auction. And one of the things that I noticed was the aversion towards technology. You know, we used a very small portion of the actual capacity of the technology. Simulcast, I took under my wing. I thought that, you know, this is an opportunity to grow a business here. Meanwhile, you know, management was well rooted in the traditional auction methods and procedures. And, you know, it really wasn't intentional, I think, that aversion. So it was just more doing what you're used to doing. So you tend to stay away from things that don't make you comfortable, right? I mean, most people tend to stay in their comfort zones. So that's really what the auctions were doing. And it's a time-honored tradition. Like I said, the kids that grew up in it, you know, because there are some young kids who also have that philosophy just because they grew up in that business. But when I stepped into it, you know, there was a lot of discouraging of participation. The theory was that you were taking customers out of the lanes and putting them online. You know, there were a lot of misconceptions. And I found that it was my job when I went out to install the technology and to teach the business model to kind of help everyone unlearn those preconceived notions. So
big job.
It was a hard task.
So when you say install, like today, what is installed? Not maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, but today, I mean, is there an auction today that's not online, simulcast?
Yeah, there are some very, very small auctions that still don't do simulcast. But, you know, they have, you know, whatever niche they've created in their market. And that's the thing, too, is that there's this local thing about them. But the thing about it being local is that in addition to, you know, the business model evolving, you have customers that are going to be presented with more opportunities to get inventory, and they're not going to stay local because the opportunities are going to be all over the place. When you can, at the click of a button, pull up all of the vehicles that you want, that meet all of the criteria that you set, you know, it's not going to be a loyalty and relationship. You know, I know the guy, so I have to go to his auction. It's not going to be that. It's going to be, I have to stay in business too. So
they make the best eggs and bacon in the morning, though, Kelly. Come on.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's the event aspect of it. They do that very well. I loved auction day. I can understand. I understand the allegiance fully because, you know, what actually pulled me into staying in the automotive industry was just falling in love with that atmosphere. I mean, how could you not? Every week you geared up for this big game. And on game day, you know, it's like, are we going to win or lose? Are we going to beat our percentages from last week? Or what are we going to do to make it better next week? And it was just very thrilling. So,
well, as a musical theater major, for me, it was a production, right? And that is what I loved and I still do, right? And, you know, through Simulcast and meeting Kelly and working with her, we had to integrate AutoCheck, right? So that the buyer online was seeing the same thing that the buyer in lane was seeing, make sure that they knew the transparency and what announcements and everything that was on a vehicle. But yeah, I think it looks a little different now because you can get that same experience. You know, I think that you've seen a shift from when Kelly and I met 20 years ago to now, Ty, to your point, where they're trying to give that experience so that those that are on Simulcast are feeling that same I'm winning the bid and not just an online eBay kind of transaction. Which I think, you know, has helped that shift again to get over the hump and accept that online piece.
Is it like whenever you're see, this is something I've never done. I've never sat with a dealer and watched him buy cars in an auction online while he's at the office. So I'm definitely, that's on my bucket list. But I'm just wondering,
while
like,
they're at the auction too. You also have simulcast going on while they're at the auction, so they
well,
can.
no, I've seen, yeah, I've seen that, but I wonder, looking at the screen, so he's got to see the car, he's got to know the condition of the car, he's got to know the price of the car. He's looking at, if he's at his desk at the office, he's looking at a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And so I've never seen that experience, but I've wondered, like, as soon as he wins the bid, does it like remind you of Vegas at the casinos and they're blowing up like, yay, you bought a car, awesome.
In the
Just kind of give them that
experience, you know, they had the run list that they passed out. So that's kind of how things have evolved, right, Jamie? They would pick up that run list at the front counter, and then now everybody looks at the vehicles online. So, you know, slowly but surely they're evolving because there's some conveniences and cost cutting that you can do. I mean, you're not printing out these thick reports of every vehicle for every dealer that comes through the door. They can go online and print out their own report.
Yeah.
Right. So the traditional method is you get there about an hour and a half, 2 hours early. Mm-hmm. You walk in the front door. First, you get the list. Before you even get a bidder badge, you get the list. Then you go get your bidder badge. Then you head to the cafeteria, get the delicious eggs, bacon with the hash browns, drink your coffee. While you're doing that, you go through your list and you mark, I'm interested in these cars, right? Then you put your jacket on and your hoodie and all your gloves, and you truck it out to the parking lot, and you go find the car that you've marked on your list. And you walk around and you physically look at it. You open the door, you start it. You might even drive it if you're there early enough, right? So what I think I hear Kelly and Jamie saying is we're accomplishing the same idea, just virtually. Is that fair?
And you forgot the black book. Remember, you also
that's what I was thinking
about. And you had to go through and
the black book,
the price was.
Yeah, no, you're right. I did forget about it. And that's,
So now,
and if you live in the Northeast, you had to bring your scraper to get the snow off the windows.
So can you get like a personal drone to go to that car out there so you don't have to go out in the parking lot? Is that next?
Well, no, I mean, the idea is that we get condition reports, you know, and I think that's one of the biggest stopping points for people buying online is that the condition reports are just not consistent enough. There hasn't been a device that's been created, you know, to measure, you know, the tires, paint, and different things that is open to interpretation for the person who's filling out those reports. So dealers feel more comfortable going out into, you know, out there on the lot and walking the cars and doing their own inspection of the vehicle.
Okay, so this will lead us into good transition there. By the way, before we transition, I just want to say, since Joe Miller's in the live chat, and I heard Theater Major, Auto Auction the Musical.
Ooh.
What?
What?
I'll buy a ticket.
Yes.
That could be
done. We're writing it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Love
you got it.
So as we move into, and really the musical ends with, well, I don't know. But, all right, consignors. You just mentioned one of their main problems. How many challenges do they face now? I mean, is there a lot of problems?
Well, you know, and that's what we're really going to find out from them.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities.
Opportunities. Because
and the thing is, with multiple consignors, you have multiple requirements. So, you know, each consignor has their own technology they bring to, you know, some of them do. Some of them don't have technology at all. They rely on all of the auctions technology or, go ahead, Ty.
Sorry, like a kid. What is consignor has technology? What is that? I've never heard of that.
Well, I mean, so there's technology they use, and some of them do have some in-house stuff that they, you know, they connect with that, like AutoIMS integrates with different technologies, and you know, and I honestly I don't know which consignors have which technologies, and some people go without technology, it's on paper, or it just goes directly into AutoIMS. You know, there's a lot of different methods. You know, and yeah, so and a lot of people have what they call, I remember going to Columbus Fair and they had what they called the Bible, and it was a different procedure and process that was required by every single consignor that they had, every single, the national consignors. So they would have to do one thing for this consignor, but do another thing for this consignor. So, yeah, it's hard to track. But
auction feels like the 3-car hauler that has 14 apps that he has to use to move one car. Is that right?
I love how you translate everything to translate.
Right. Sorry.
Kelly says, no, there's one app and it's called AuctionVcommerce.
That's it.
That's
you
it.
Got the one app.
I saw that. There's your applause.
Jamie's always got my back.
There you go. She does. All right, so let's do this. Before we bring in the consignors, so say it again. Why do we have a consignors panel tonight?
Because we want to give the auctions some insight, or there's other digital competitors, but we want to know, what does it take to get your business? What are you looking for in an auction?
That's great. I love that approach.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. She just, mic drop. Okay.
What do we got to do to earn
what
your
do we
business?
do? What do we need to do to earn your business? All right, so let's do this. I'm back on camera 1 now. Consignors, you didn't get a lot. I said you wouldn't get a lot of notice, and I fulfilled my promise. But here come the consignors. All right, Scott, let's see. Okay, so we don't have. I think Joe is still waiting in the wings because he's part of the solution. Well, he is the solution panel. Okay, but I think we're gonna have a few consignors joining us now, and give you a chance. We're still on camera 1. Let's look at the live chat. And man, Michelle Pirog's talking about, Scott says we need a smellometer. Michelle, I think she is second on the smellometer. And Joe says Elon Musk just tweeted that he's almost figured out how to digitize odors. So there you go. Well, that was fast. Okay. But Elon doesn't play. All right, so here we go. Scott Mousaw, you were in here first. Please do say hello and tell us a little bit more about you and why you're on the panel tonight.
Good evening, Scott Mousaw. I'm with United Auto Credit Corporation, and excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. And Scott France is here with us, too. Scott, please say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Scott.
All right, cool. So we might still have joining us, Sheila Tedesco, right? I think she's going to be joining us. If we're lucky, I never did get a chance to talk to Jerry again, but if he's able to join,
we talked to him.
You did? Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Just before the show.
All right, awesome. Okay.
Hey, wait, I'm sorry, who's Scott France with? Scott?
Yeah.
Scott France is with Caprock Remarketing. I also consultant for the industry on the remarketing side.
Caprock Remarketing. Okay, Caprock Remarketing. Got it. And then the other Scott.
United Auto Credit Corp.
United Auto Credit Corp. So you guys are consignors, right? Is it? I'm sorry to interrupt. I love
it.
Was it like when I say you guys are the money guys? Is that fair? You guys have the money for the cars, or is that not fair?
Mousaw's got the money.
Mousaw's got the money. All right.
Mousaw's got the money.
Yeah.
Mousaw does it for his own portfolio. I do it for third parties.
Okay, got it.
That's actually really helpful. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would it? Okay, so explain third party.
Banks, credit unions, fleet accounts. They come to us and ask us to liquidate their collateral.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So you do it for yourself, who would be your main client?
My main client is private equity firms, stressed debt holders, credit unions that would rather us do their work than them do it, because we've got expertise and fee schedules and relationships and so on and so forth.
Wow. Okay, great. That's good. And the other Scott, says Scott France, is that right? Am I saying that right?
I'm Scott
Mousaw.
Oh, on the screen it's messed up. Wait a minute.
No, your screen's messed up. Scott Mousaw.
Yeah, sorry. Mousaw. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
It's ATI.
Hi, I'm the guy you borrowed $1 from to tip the bartender at East Carwood.
Oh, got it.
Man.
That's who you are.
Yeah, you know what? That's awesome. That was well played.
That's how I met you. Now I know. Okay, there we go. I'm back on the
good
right page.
relationships start at a bar.
Yeah, all good relationship. I'm standing there. I said, I don't have $1. You got one? Didn't even know you, did I?
He said, you don't need one, but have a seat. Let me tell you a story. All right. Good. Great introductions. Kelly or Jamie?
Good job.
Help us out. Where should we go first? Where can we go?
Okay, so I just so you know, I invited Sheila. I sent her the link again, so she'll be coming on in just a second. So, you know, I don't know if you guys heard what I was saying at the start, but I kind of attributed to change happening with technology in the auto auction industry to you guys. I give the consignors credit for bringing technology into the auction and Simulcast and the digital opportunity. So do you confirm or deny that accusation?
I will defer this one to Scott France. As you say, Simulcast came in about 20 years ago, and that's before I was in the space. I will tell you it is something I require of my auction partners. And when you say it's the small auctions that don't have it, they're small because they don't have it. And they're not going to capture the big consignors. We've got to put more eyes on the car, and that's one way to do it. Not to mention the travel of a rep to get out there. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to put a guy on a plane for 5 cars.
So Scott, have you gone to an auction that, or has somebody come to you and said, you know, what does it take to get your business? And you said, well, you have to be online, and they went out and got Simulcast.
The ones who've approached me have been on Simulcast. I've had auctions come to me that didn't have AutoIMS, and I sent them over to Joe, and they got set up. Another thing I require, just so we have that data transfer going back and forth.
And how about you, Scott France?
Same.
Same.
Same. You have to be Simulcast. We have to have ability to do Simulcast. They've got to be able to do online sales, and they got to be on IMS or one of the other partners.
Yeah, and that's just a consignor requirement all over. I mean, I've not known of the consignor that said you don't have to have those things. Is that an accurate statement, or are there some that will do business without those?
I think from it's a volume play. You
Right.
could have small credit unions that have 3, 4, 5 cars a month that may be irrelevant to them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone that's doing any type of volume, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
So, and also, I can speak to that. We were going to have Lisa Frank on today, but she does donation cars, and I know that they don't use, they don't have all of the requirements that the regular consignors do. So, yeah, it depends, I think, on size and stuff. But my other question was going to be about COVID and how you guys have seen. He's smiling already. Do you think there's a difference? Because, I always say it was the consignors that pushed auctions to go online, but nobody ever gave them standards or, said you have to be good at it. You had to have the technology. That was the requirement back when I first got into the industry. So, now there's, you have to have AutoIMS, you have to have, all these different things. But as far as holding them accountable for the experience that the buyer gets, that's still, I think, a standard that it's hard to measure. And that's where we kind of come into play. But have you guys seen a difference in your relationships with the auction prior to COVID, during COVID, after COVID, whatever you want to speak to in that regard that stands out to you?
So I will say that pre-COVID, as a repossession consignor, all of my cars are repossessions in varying stages of condition. Pre-COVID, I was only about 10% online via Simulcast. And COVID took us obviously to, all of them. And even today, if we call this post-COVID, I'm still at 40%. So to your point about dealers, auctions not doing it, I think it's the dealers, the buyers, who were leery about the old guys that have been buying cars for 30 years, wanted to smell it, taste it, touch it. And the fact that they couldn't do it, they couldn't buy cars unless they went simulcast or upstream, it forced them to do it. And what I've seen is some of them liked it, and they're staying there.
Yeah.
Nothing drives me more crazy than I'm standing up on the block selling cars, and the guy's bidding on the same car he's looking at 2 feet away, doing it online, and all I'm thinking is, oh, simulcast fee, you know. So
Yeah.
it's you know, you just put your hand up, buddy. You're all right.
Yeah, right.
But I think a lot of the dealers who were resistant to it had to do it, and some of them stuck around.
Yeah. What about you, Scott France? Do you have anything you want to?
I agree with Mousaw. I think one of the big changes that we saw was because we had to pull everyone off the road for almost a year and a half, 2 years, we learned to function more or less without the reps at the auction and depend more on the auctions for quality of CRs and everything else. So I know we go to auctions a lot less frequently than we did, more to audit them, make sure that the recons and those types of things are being done. But the majority of what we're doing now, we pulled our reps off the road and are primarily doing everything simulcast.
Well, speaking of Recon, we had a conversation with Jerry earlier today, and I think he is our Zoom user that doesn't have a picture. He said that his camera is not working. Is that you, Jerry?
No, that's Sheila.
And Sheila, oh, but did Jerry just say hello?
Yeah, he's
I
on.
did.
Yeah,
Hey,
He's on too.
yeah,
Hello.
he's our Zoom user
like we're
without a
on.
picture.
Welcome,
So
Jerry.
I do know that
Thank you.
Recon was a big issue for him at some of his locations. And Scott France, you just mentioned that. So what is the expectation? Scott Mousaw, I know you said you have repos and they're in all types of conditions. So, you know, do you pick and choose or is it every car has an expected recon?
You know, what I train my guys is it's smart reconditioning. If we spend the money, we're going to get it back out 2 or 3 fold. If it's a difference between taking a non-runner to a runner, a red to a green to a cert. If it's a smart spend, we're going to do it. So most of my auctions have mechanics on site. They can do minor body work. Some are very good and have the full body shop. You know, there was one auction that I was testing with, and they didn't have a mech on site at all. So anything that needed to be done, they had to transport it to a dealer. Well, that was a short test because my trans rates went through the roof. So they just didn't have the necessary facilities on site to handle just the basic things. Hey, it needs a brake job. It needs an alternator, whatever it was. They have to have the basic facilities to accomplish those tasks just to get the car across the block in a presentable manner.
Same.
You're going first next time. And I'm
Yeah, Jerry, would you
You're
like to speak to
Jerry.
sort of yours?
Yeah.
Well, let me say I'm a 30-year auction veteran, so I've been on the other side for a long time and only on the consignor side for 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. So what perspective do you want?
Give us
I would
both.
say today
Yeah.
I went to a sale to evaluate their performance, and none of my cars were clean. So I don't know if it was a capacity issue or if it was just how they conduct business, but that's I'm selling all 21, 22 year model stuff. So I need mine standing tall. I need to be able to support MMR and keep it propped up high as I can. So I want all my cars at a 4.0 or higher. So we're trying to do all the work we can to make all those our vehicles meet those marks.
You must have good stuff, Mousaw.
Oh.
I got good stuff. I'm fortunate.
Would you
It
like
makes
to
it to the mechanic shop. It's a warranty issue.
Jerry,
Hey,
since
Jerry. Oh,
retired from Greensboro Auto Auction, would you like to say where you are now? Because I think that might help everybody understand your 2 weeks as a consignor.
Well, I'm helping a gentleman that runs a company called GSP Transportation. He's got 42 locations of Hertz, Stoller, and Thrifty rental car locations. So we're primarily, like I say, selling most of our inventory is less than 20,000 miles we're selling, and 21 or 22 year models.
so I got a quick question for you, Jerry. What happens when you go to the auction that has all your cars and they're not the way you expect them?
Well, since I've been on the other side so long, I handled it extremely professional, but very, unsatisfied, and they were able to determine that. And when I left today, they were cleaning them all up, retaking the pictures, redoing the CRs, and putting them up on OV for me, because obviously we didn't have the sale that we were expecting.
Oh.
Because it's going to bring more value if it's done properly, right?
If it's done properly, it will always bring more money.
Back in the old days, I worked for a wholesaler, and the first thing he said is a clean car runs better.
It does, don't it?
One of the tricks a wholesaler told me one time, this is crazy. He said, just make sure the windows are clean. I have no idea what it meant.
The lights, right? You have to make sure that those lights are clean.
Yeah, the lights.
I had a car that actually had landed at the third auction, and it was evident that the car had been at 3 different locations. That is totally unacceptable to me. It tells people that car's been around, and I share those sentiments as well today.
Like an item that has several price tags still on it.
Markings on the window, and you can tell it ain't from the same location. Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
not a winner for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a rough day on your second week of your new job.
I had a rough day.
Well, I'm glad you came by to say hi to us. That was nice. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Greensboro is a big option.
I'm sorry. Is Sheila in the room? I just wanted.
So I thought she was too. Sheila, can you see us and hear us? Okay, Sheila.
See you on the screen. Yes.
There you are.
Okay, and
your camera's not on, Sheila.
She doesn't have a camera.
I don't.
Okay, she did last
on my
night.
phone, and I thought I had it. I thought I had it going, and I'm so sorry that I don't appear. I don't know why I don't.
It's okay. We know how beautiful you are. You can just keep talking.
I'm not sure how to get that on. Kelly would know how to do that. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry.
Sheila, I'm right with you, so don't feel like you're by yourself, all right?
Alrighty then.
Yeah, we can't see Jerry either. So Sheila, same question to you. We're talking about the process of getting your cars. What are your expectations when you go to the auction for reconditioning?
Well, the expectations have actually changed over the years with the Simulcast and the technology that the auctions have, and specifically speaking about the Smart CR that has now come to evolve. We really expect a lot of accuracy and consistency. And with the Smart CRs, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but you're able to go in and click on the damages if the front bumper's damaged and say your car's at grade 1.9, and you're able to go through the damages that are listed and click on the damage and say, well, if I were to fix the bumper for $200, how much would it change the grade? Oh, it'll change it to a 2.2. Well, that's good. That'll take me out of the 1s to a 2. We'll do that repair. What else can I do to get it to a 3? What can I do to get it to a 4? And so you also whether those damages versus cost and see whether it's going to warrant the additional dollars. A repaired vehicle is always better. It always sells better. It is in better condition, and a clean car does sell better. But the warranty, the repairs have to warrant for the value. You can't spend more than the car's worth. And so we have really, really benefited from the Smart CR that we see from ADESA auctions. But the biggest challenge that we have universally would be the fact that Kelly, you mentioned it before, is the consistent CRs. It seems like every auction chain has their own way of writing condition reports. And it seems like every region in the country has their own way of seeing things. And so when you have that discretion with someone looking at something with their eyes, perhaps it's a Monday morning and they're all excited, they see things in a great way. Maybe it's Friday afternoon and they can't wait to leave, and maybe they don't see things quite the same way. And so when you look at things like that, it affects our condition report and it affects our value. Many times we run a vehicle through the sale and the car's in great condition because there's no damages listed. And so we're expecting this car to bring all of MMR, and we get a half of MMR. We say, what's happening? And then it takes maybe a sale or something. We need this car rewalked, and to come to find out the crack bumper really was more than 200. It actually has to be replaced. It's more like 2,000. And when you make those changes later, you're not selling on the first pass, perhaps you're selling on the second, even could be the third, and which is not beneficial. And so we lose our momentum, and we don't capture the highest dollar, trying to chase perhaps the inconsistencies that should have been addressed at the first time when the vehicle came in. And so that's what we face. Is one of our biggest is and I think universally it's everyone's. It's just if we could just somehow master those CRs and the damages.
And before you guys get that consistency, you have to get a relationship, right? So what wins your hearts? What makes you decide to do business with an auction?
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. I've been in this business for over 34 years, and I have many relationships and many very strong relationships. I have relationships that are longer than my kids are born. And so relationships, I feel like, are key. They are absolutely essential in this business. They make the connection. They make the triangle of consignor, dealer, auction, and that's how we always see it as a consignor. That there's three parties involved, and it's the consignor, the dealer, and the auction. And the relationship is just absolutely so imperative. And that's actually some of the things that we see that are struggling a little bit here with the digital world that we're visiting, because you can speak to a young person and they're on their phone quite a bit, and just the socialization is a little bit less. They're on their phone, so they don't really communicate so much anymore. They communicate better on their phones. And we see that with the relationships with the auctions, we used to fly out to every auction. Someone mentioned that they don't go quite often. They do an audit because it doesn't make sense to send to a rep to an auction where they're barely attended. What is the point of your representing all of these vehicles if there's no one there in the lanes to see that? But the relationship is the key. And if it's not maintained and we're not flying out to these auctions and we're not seeing these people on at least a consistent or quarterly basis, we actually feel like the relationships are getting splintered, and they're not as strong, and they're not as loyal. And so we're trying to figure out how to keep that all intact, to keep the relationships that we've had, the kind of the grandfathered relationships that go from back 30 years ago. And things have changed. And so that the relationship has changed as well. And so you have to evolve with that. The relationship has to evolve going forward. And whether you go just visit the auction every month or every 6 months, whatever it may be, depending on your needs, the maintaining of the relationship is becoming more and more critical, because the person, the human, is becoming less. And when you have that, there's always just a little bit of a breakdown. And so we're trying to keep it all glued together on our side.
And same question for you guys. How does an auction win your business?
For me, it comes to an ease of doing business, right? I mean, there are some auctions where and to Sheila's point, it's definitely a relationship game, but that takes time. So as we talked about them winning that business, it is showing me how I fit in, right? So if you came to me and said, look at how well we're doing with all Jerry's cars, right? That tells me nothing about how my car will be there. Show me what it looks like with me there. Back when I used to sell retail, the best thing you could ever do is take a consumer back to their house and show them the new car in their garage, because it started to foster that ownership, right? And so show me what it looks like when I'm there. Have data that is good, that will illustrate that. Hey, we've looked at what you've sold at the other auction. Here's what you sell, and here's how that would perform here. And here's how we can do better than them. Rather than just we do really well for this credit union. Okay, well, repossessions are a little different, or than off lease or the white metal or whatever you're selling. So it's really putting us there and showing us what it looks like. Obviously, the facilities and the technology has got to be there. Compliance has got to be there. But when it comes down to it, it's show me what it looks like for me to be there. And that way, when it happens, okay, it's a win. When it doesn't happen, we can then backtrack a little bit and see what went wrong. Was the data flawed? Was it not a fit for me? But I think that's the key is put me in the picture and show me what it looks like.
Mousaw, you didn't let France go first. I bet he's just going to say, yeah.
No, actually, where I was going to go, like Sheila, I've been around it forever, and you've got the relationships. But I think as importantly is the relationships that we have with each other. There's many times, because I had a lot of metal like Mousaw's, where I'd ask, all right, Scott, where's he running? And we would match up inventory to like inventory based on references from the other folks that are in the industry. So that was huge for us. As far as the auctions go, you know, it's interesting. When you're low volume auction, not a lot of people want your business, but there's a few of them that will always come after you for your business. And then once you get to a certain point, then all of a sudden the larger auctions start coming at you. Oh, we got to have your business, got to have your business. And I sort of resent that in many cases, because you don't want to help me grow as a partner when I'm small. But you only want me when I've got the volume. They don't want to work. So that's where a lot of for me, because of the large footprint that we've got, small volumes and large footprint, I look for a lot of auctions that my 5 cars a month means as much to them as 50 cars a month at one of the bigger auctions.
And I think to that point, Scott, years ago when I took over marketing, going on 13 years now, we had gone through a portfolio sale. We went from 2,500 cars a month to 32 cars in 15 states. And we were at that point selling with a major nationwide auction house. I couldn't get a call back. Mm-hmm. So now, to Scott's point, I started dropping into these independent auctions where I was important. Where again, you don't have to throw rose petals, but you have to recognize that I exist, right? That's my only rule. But these are auctions that we've grown into. I mean, 45% of my inventory goes out at an independent auction today. And that's only because I include Accelerate as not an independent anymore, but you throw that 20% over there. We're heavy into the independent sale. And it's Scott's point, because we grew with them. And
that's a
we
good
are important to them.
Yeah, we did as well. We are a small finance company. We did as well.
What's your percentage, Sheila, for between independent and, because you mentioned ADESA?
ADESA is the smaller of our auction groups. I would say that independents would be the largest group. Mannheim would be the second, and ADESA would be the third, in that order. And we also follow that same theory. In the remarketing world, Lobel Financial is a small entity compared to Ford and Toyota and Santander and some of these other major companies. However, we're huge compared to a credit union, and so we're kind of a middleman in there. And so, whereas a larger auction, we have been called a miscellaneous account. So imagine the customer service level that we have, which is next to none. And then if we go to an independent auction, they almost roll out a red carpet because we're running 20 cars, and that's a large sale for them. And so again, the service level is just so much dramatically different. We're able to move the cars on a first pass. Everything is we're able to just actually move vehicles on a first pass through an independent auction without any problems. At a bigger auction, there just seems to be a little bit more cholesterol in the veins, and it just takes a little bit more effort to get those cars through. Again, it's a bigger market for them, and so it's worth the extra effort, whatever that may be, whether it's a transportation delay, mechanic delay, many of the delays that we experience. Obviously, it's a bigger forum, and so it does pay for those delays. But a lot of times, time value of money also is relative. And when you can get the car in and out and the check received in a matter of 1 week, that also is very beneficial.
Nice. And Scott France, what about you? What's your percentage between corporate auctions and independent?
90% independent.
Nice. Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry.
Well, GSP had ran most through COVID, 100% at Greensboro Auto Auction, with a little bit to the Mannheim sales. We're trying to, what was that?
Oh, it's all right.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. It was a station identification. Go, Jerry.
I got sidetracked.
That's all right.
We're
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry, please.
Mainly Greensboro.
wings a little bit. He's tripled his fleet size in the last 2 years, so we're trying to spread our wings a little bit. And quite honestly, one of the big changes today was very disappointing. So we'll just leave it at that.
I noticed that all of you mentioned compliance, or half of you mentioned compliance. I did see Michelle asking a question about PII in the comments section. So how many of you guys require that PII to be deleted before a sale? Of course, Scott, yes. France.
Technically, he did go first now. He raised his hand.
Yes, yes.
Was silent
Same
first,
thing.
but-
Same thing.
Yeah.
We do not delete the data. That was a choice made by the owners. Unless it becomes mandated by the government, then we will do it. It's an additional cost, and we already have a lot of costs, and we're a subprime finance company, and so we chose not to unless it's mandated.
Got it.
And for full clarification, we're taking it on a case-by-case basis. As our inventory has evolved, we're getting newer cars with enormous loads of data on there, so we're taking those on a case-by-case. But you know, my 96 Intrepid, I'm gonna let that be.
Well, does it have an API?
I don't know.
Well, it's interesting, and I'll just share this real fast. I know that Joe's waiting, but when I bought a used Tesla, and when I received it, I could go to the guy that owned my car. I could go to his house, his work, his mom's house. I could go anywhere he had ever put in, you know, the maps section. But what was even worse was it took more time than it should have for them to put my information in and take his out. So I had to charge because they had not installed my charger in my home yet. So when I just had to go to a supercharger and plug in, and the guy that owned our vehicle before us paid for my first charge, because that was the only way to pay for it, was the credit card that was in the vehicle.
Wow.
Well,
So, PI is important, is what I'm saying.
yes. And you mentioned Joe, so we don't want to keep him on the line since he is the solution provider. So
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take the mic for a second. Thank you all for standing by. Joe, thank you for being so patient. What we're doing here is we're back on camera one. We're also in the live chat. Please do help me welcome back onto ATI Auto Business Joe Miller. He is in charge of client success and much more at AutoIMS. Oh, it'd be good if I hit the doorbell. All right, Joe, please do get ready to join us. And thanks again for jumping in the live chat. And Penny Wana had a really good question. How do auctions lose your business? So we're going to get to that as well. Joe, can you see us and hear us okay?
I can. Can you see me and hear me okay?
See you. We can hear you. Please say hello again before we jump into this amazing conversation that we're having.
Hello again before we jump into this amazing conversation.
Yes,
Wait
yes.
for it.
It's
You
Joe
guys
Miller.
No. Wait.
Joe Miller.
Sold.
Wait. Yes.
Yeah. There it is.
I'm dying for that. Is your bell
Amy, I told you I needed a bell.
bedazzled?
Oh, come on. No way. Of course he got a bell. All right, but do you have that? Okay. Joe, take it away, please. Say hello. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No, thanks for having me. I was doing better listening. I've learned so much tonight. This great panel, great discussion.
Amazing.
Jamie and Kelly. Sorry, Jay, but it looks like you've got some.
I'll see you guys later, okay?
I told you the girls were taking over tonight.
Taking over.
They did.
Awesome. The Scots are great. It's great to hear from Jerry again. And of course, Sheila, a lot of good insights there. I can't help but think about this whole concept of courting the consignor, not to bring us full circle back to your title of your show, Jay, but there was so many.
And
really,
that was their idea, Kelly and Jamie's idea. I mean,
yeah.
I
mean, there's no new ideas to present that weren't already presented tonight. So I mean, I heard Scott Mousaw talk about a lot of things, but data came up. Sheila mentioned relationship. Of course, Ty mentioned early in the call. I think it was Ty. Follow through, doing what you say you're going to do. Scott, France. I think the gist of what I heard you say was this idea of reputation, reference, and referral. Right? If you guys are working with each other and coordinating, so you can find the best service, but I just keep all those things bring me back to all the different levers, because a commercial consignor is not a commercial consignor is not a commercial consignor, right? There, you can create that bucket. We can create all the panels you want, but each one of you guys are hitting, and gals are hitting those levers, your big levers, in different ways. And it is such a complex soup. And just when you think you got a rhythm, whether you're an auction or a transportation company, a carrier, a broker, or you're a software provider like my company, the macro environment blows up and you got to get in a whole new rhythm. So that takes a lot of work and a lot of hand holding, back to the relationship, back to this, just staying in touch and really listening and learning to define mutual partner driven success between the two parties that are working together. Whoa. That's the rant. I've been holding on to that rant for like 40 minutes.
Wow. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
He is good. He is amazing. So I'm excited that you're here, Joe.
Oh, I'm fired up. I love this topic.
Well,
yeah, please take it away.
Going back to Pennywanna's question, because I had the same question. We learned how the auctions win your business. How do they lose your business? Who wants to start?
Jerry, go first. Jerry. Did we lose Jerry?
No, you can't lose his business. Don't lose Jerry's business,
Don't lose Jerry.
Don't do it.
Jerry, we want to know.
Jerry says if you don't clean my cars when I show up, then you have lost my business.
Someone said Jerry must.
He had to go. He's outside cleaning them right now. Yeah.
He's on the phone with the guy because it just brought back the memory.
I'm gonna call that guy right now.
All right, so had a great day. Think of how many years Jerry got that call. Probably not too many of them, because Greensboro did a great job, I'm sure, under his leadership. But
I was one of Jerry's first clients 30 years ago back up in Greensboro. And there was a way we wanted cars reconned. And to his point, it's the easiest way to lose my business is not being able to recon a car. Is going out there and what he experienced tonight. Yeah, you get 3 strikes and you're out on that is number one. The data side is also extremely important. I think Sheila touched on the CRs. Everyone's different opinions on CRs and not getting them right, not having enough information to effectively floor the cars, too many inconsistencies. Easiest way that's where we've dropped them. The other one is the bullying. A lot of the auctions sitting there saying, here's how you're going to do things. And no, that's not the way I'm going to do things. I'll go somewhere else where I'll do things the way I want to do things. So ego plays a real big part. And there's been a lot of business change over to a lot of the independents because of ego.
Well, and I want to ask Scott Mousaw this, because he brought up the point that eventually you start, you're the little guy, and then you get all these cars, and then they want your business. But are they? Yeah. Now I'm forgetting my question.
Are they going to win it back after they've lost it?
So, there was an auction in the Midwest who was chasing a major captive. This is years ago. And what they did is they took a lot of the small consignors like us at the time, and we were back burner. We're so focused on capturing this consignor. Well, I moved across state lines to another auction, which at 5 cars a month on a Friday, turned out to be my 2-time auction of the year over the last few years. And I would get a call after they lost that big consignor a couple of years later. Hey, we want you back. Well, what I don't do is I don't reward really good performance with a champ challenge. If you've done your job, if you've done what we've agreed you're going to do, if the numbers bear, I'm not going to go anywhere, right? I mean, it's there. And so I don't feel the need to reward somebody with another test. You passed. If things start to slip, if we're noticing things that are becoming a challenge, if you have a set group of processes that you follow through and you start to stop following through on them, if certain things stop happening in a timely manner or at all, if your buyer base dips to where the money isn't there anymore for my cars, those are all things we'll look at. But if you're humming along, no, we're going to stay pat. We're going to be good. And again, that speaks to the relationships. And again, that's just the way I do it.
Well, I want to thank Jamye for that filler question, because, and I'm to the age where if I don't write that note, then I'm going to lose it. So my question was going to be about the process. So when you switch from the big guys to a little guy, do they have the infrastructure to handle your volume?
Well, and again, yes, now they do. I mean, several years ago, it wasn't a lot of volume to really worry about, right? It wasn't like a big staffing push to get guys on the ground to handle all the recon, right? We're talking 5, maybe 10 cars a month. So it was, in these circumstances, we grew with the auction to where I started with 5 cars, now I'll run 40 or 50. And so we've grown with the auction, and it's like that with many sales. Now, if it is a brand new sale and I'm moving out of a major market where I have a lot of volume, I really have to walk through the processes. I have to make sure that they have what we need to be successful there. And again, repossessions are a little different than a fleet car or an off rental or these, because you've got consumers, you've got reinstates, you've got CFPB, you've got all these things that we have to make sure are good or functioning to where we're able to successfully sell there without getting into hot water down the road.
And to all the transporters listening out there in ATI world, the trick is to not get intimidated by the vocabulary if you're not familiar with it, but it's also to learn it, right? So Scott's indicating some of his levers. If you're a lender, and in certain, especially it could be geographical in certain states, certain compliance related things are going to trump other potentially monetary benefits to your service, whether that's a discount. So not always about selling, it's about being able to deliver and to be able to understand who the client is and what is most important to them in any particular scenario. And the nice thing about these guys here is this industry is so approachable, and it's been such a breath of fresh air being in remarketing, because you know what? Ask what feels like a dumb question. Why do meteors land in craters? That's the only dumb question, right? So it's, Scott, I'm sorry, what does CFPB mean? Take me through it. Help me help you, you know?
The
Unfortunately,
Consumer
I know
Finance Protection Bureau. It is a federal agency that started after larger finance companies, gone after smaller and mid-sized finance companies. And it is one that we and y'all need to be very aware of. I will tell you, years ago, I was at a recovery conference and they were talking about it, and it was everything, right? It was all about agencies and portfolio debt. And it was 3 years before it showed up at Used Car Week. I mean, I think the remarketing space was behind the CFPB as it relates to the recovery side. They were ahead of it because it was hitting them first, right? But we start talking about data. We start talking about fee schedules. I had one person talk to me about $1 for AutoIMS, Joe. My AutoIMS fee from the auction was off by $1 on 2 accounts. And they said, hey, what about this? And luckily I had backup, and I said, you're good, leave me alone. They go, okay. But that was the light bulb for me. It's $1. But because I was wronging the consumer with a higher deficiency balance of $1, it was on their radar, and it was part of a larger look. But it's something that, although what we think it waned a little bit during the Trump administration, I think it's starting to come back up again, to where it's real, and it's something that we all are very aware of on our side of the desk.
Second mention of a problem relating to like $1 or $2, by the way, right, Ty, from Scott? He's not letting you off the hook.
No, he's taking that. He's good.
That's the second dollar mention. When you were talking about data, Scott, earlier, and you were talking about how important that is. I know that we've talked in the past about vehicle history and how knowing if there's an announcement on that vehicle before it gets to the auction where it's going, that is a benefit. And we've partnered with AutoIMS, so that's available. What does that, like, how does vehicle history play into what you guys are doing at the auction?
I will tell you, the most time where I will use that is when I'm making a reconditioning decision, a major reconditioning decision. Okay, I'm going to drop a transmission in this car for $3,000. Oh, wait a minute. It's had 7 owners, 6 accidents, and it's a branded title. Maybe I won't, right? And so I will go to AutoIMS and I will we have an AutoCheck account, but I will go right there and look at it and take a look, and I'll pull the other guys too, just so I'm clear. But I will make sure that there's no flags on that vehicle that'll stop me from recouping my Recon dollar. But that's where I use it the most. We'll also use it when we're looking at flooring the vehicle for, maybe a vehicle that isn't a Recon type item, but we're looking at flooring, understanding that the dealer is going to be pulling these reports. The dealer is going to bid accordingly, and understanding why is a good way to get your car sold on the first run. It's a $10,000 car. No, you've got an odometer problem and 4 accidents. The dealer knows this. You should know it too. That way you can price it accordingly and convert properly. Convert is when you sell the car you run.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities that, and in addition to what Scott said, I mean, we're doing that, but what we're looking at is the befores. So, example, a transporter goes to pick up a vehicle, or a repossession agent picks up a vehicle. Sheila pointed out the Smart CRs. There's applications out there now to where a repossession agent when a vehicle comes in, they can use one of the apps that's out there for CRs, take the pictures of the vehicle, lid automatically identifies the damage on the vehicles. And then when a transporter picks it up, then we want the transporters to take the pictures using the same application. And then when it arrives at auction, then we use the auction CRs. So we've got history all the way through, right? There's no argument on the transporter saying, no, we didn't damage it, or the repo agent saying, we didn't damage it, or the auction saying, no, we didn't damage it. It gives us record all throughout the process. So we're starting to look at new technologies like that and push them further downstream, upstream, whatever you want to call it, to protect the auctions, protect the transporters, and starting at the beginning.
Now, Scott touched on a point, and because I think we have an audience that is really honed into the transport space, I will tell you, if you're not taking pictures when you pick it up from the repossessor, you're setting yourself up, because the repossessor's taking a picture when he gets it, the auction's taking a picture when they get it, and if the damage isn't on the repo guy's picture, although it could have happened on his lot, getting that picture there. We had one recently where there was damage. Called the auction. It was primarily a dealer auction prior to us getting there, and they actually took offense to me asking them, hey, can we walk through this damage and figure out where it happened, because it was your contracted transporter. It turns out they didn't take pictures. So it's probably if you're not doing it from a consignor side, I'm going to tell you, it makes our life easier. We have to dive into these things. It speaks to the consumer and the car that we repossess versus the car that they get back on a reinstate. But having the 3 pictures from repo to pick up to drop off makes it really easy to find out where damage happened if it did in fact happen.
So did that end up on your list of requirements?
I'm going to tell you, it was 2 weeks ago. So it is something that I've onboarded 2 auctions since then, and it has come up, but I haven't doubled back through the other sales, which is probably something that I'll look into.
I'm just going to say, I hope there are no transporters watching that don't take pictures. Please.
I don't want.
Well, I like what Scott Francis was saying, though, because we've been saying this for a long time. By the way, we're friends with the repo gang now. Did you know that? That's crazy. We had to bury our repo hammer. It's gone. We're transport guys. We had to get rid of the repo hammer. But we've been saying this for a long time. If there was technology, when we go to pick it up, it would be awesome that we didn't have to spend and people, what's it take, Ty? 1 minute to take a couple pictures? Maybe. I don't know.
But it's like when
if somebody else has already done it.
Average person renting a car, SSSSS, just, scratches everywhere. Here, I'm done.
Yep. The new smart applications now, it's great. You pull the picture up, your phone up, holds it up, and has a template of the vehicle. Fit it into the template, take it. Next. And it's amazing the detail it pulls out on any scratches, dings, dents, whatever it is. So the applications are out there for it.
This is a moment for pause. AI. It's not standard everywhere, just like transporters taking photos, but we're in a paradigm shift here of AI. Because I can't say that I know which transporter AI vehicle inspection app is commonplace. I actually don't know the answer to that. I should in 2 years. But Scott, are you saying then that you know of an AI vehicle inspection app that you prefer?
I am.
Would you tell us what it is?
Pave.
Pave.
P-A-V-E.
P-A-B-E.
I know those guys.
P-A-V-E, like paved road.
P-A-V-E. Okay. I'm going to look this up. You know those guys.
I know these guys.
I do.
We'll have to have them on.
Wow.
You know everybody. Wow.
Pave vehicle inspection. I am okay.
She's
got their car. What?
Joe, stellar.
It's crazy.
It's a technology.
A little bit of
That gets an applause. It's crazy. Pave. Okay, so I think I just found pave.bot, which is an interesting
it is
link.
Scott's got some.
Is it pave.bot? Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Francis is your guy. And I'll post the contact information.
All right, well, we have to have Mike on the show now.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know
any
more.
relation to Scott, friends?
Nope.
Almost caught him with a conflict there.
So close.
Nepotism.
Wow.
So you were talking about digital, and I wanted to circle back real quick because one of the questions that I had, I asked you what type of auctions and the percentages. One thing that hasn't been brought up, and I think is a little wild, is the ACV auctions of the world, the digital options. Do you guys do any of that?
I do more than I ever have, and part of that is as my portfolio evolves a little bit. I'm probably one of those old guys that you want to smell it, taste it, touch it, and I think the dealers are the same way. So when you're dealing with a vehicle that may have a few challenges, I believe your top dollar comes in when they can shove their head in there and smell the car, or when they can listen to the engine, when they can do these things. So it is as my portfolio has evolved and my cars have gotten better that more and more are going upstream. We put them up in a weekly sale with our parent company, and we're having some success in there on the newer fresh run stuff.
And so what percentage?
I completed a sale the other day, and I think we came in at about 40% conversion. And I set the floors, just because I'm an in-lane guy, I set the floors at the money, right? There's no variant from that. It's going to go here or it's going to go in the lane. And I do it, it's only going to be no sales from an independent sale, because they get first bite at the apple, or it'll be first runs at that major national player, because it's just left pocket to right pocket at that point. It's the same thing. So,
anyone else? No. So What about repping online versus in lane? And you mentioned you're more old school. So do you have a preference, or were you one of the people during COVID who said, you know what, this might be a little easier?
So we stopped traveling, right? Just because we had to. And as soon as things lifted, I think part of to Sheila's point was I wanted to get back out. I wanted to make sure auctions lost staff, processes fall by the wayside, new people coming on. You walk into a sale 2 years later, you might know a few people, but the ones that were doing the legwork were gone. And so you had to make sure, I wanted to make sure that processes were still in line and being done. We're back full-time traveling. My guys are out, every week. I get out there a few times a month as well, just because I still like to kick tires. But it is something that we got back to as quickly as we could, as soon as restrictions lifted.
Well, we're out on it. We didn't go back to the old travel schedules. We're more in an audit basis. A lot of times it'll be a surprise, we're here. And so we can make sure that the work's being done instead of just doing it when they know we're going to be there. So,
Angela actually said that in the comments earlier. She says she's just waiting for you to step in and wipe your white glove across the vehicle.
She would know.
Now we know where you're going next. What about you, Sheila? I know you like to go to the auctions.
I love the auctions. I love kicking the tires, and I love the energy in the lanes. And unfortunately, there's not too much energy in the lanes at times. However, there are still auctions that do huge promos and huge things to bring dealers in. And I know that's kind of a little bit conversely of what we're talking about today, and I'm trying to keep everybody home or buying cars in their office and on their laptop, and no need to go to the auction. But there's a number of auctions that spend quite a bit of money trying to bring the dealers back in. Texas, Manheim's Texas Hobby is one of them that I can think of. They have a tremendous, huge monthly budget for, and every single month they've got an event, and dealers just come in from all over just to attend that event. So it's a little bit odd. They're still practicing the old school ways, and I love every minute of it. And I have a flight to Houston next week, and I can't wait. But I have reps that are out every week selling. We're not at every single auction that we sell at, because I just don't have that many reps. But we attend the major auctions that we sell at. We were very, very quick to get back out on the road. As soon as I could get somebody who was comfortable flying, I put them on a plane. I flew the whole time. I just flew to whoever was open. I went, because I just felt that was needed to be done. And
but did you rep online during?
Yes, we rep online. We simulcast. Yeah, we're online. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my guys were chomping at the bit to get back out. It's probably more their wives wanted them out, but yeah, they were ready to go.
So does that mean that the audience that we have here tonight prefers in-lane versus on-lane? Online versus in-lane?
On-lane, the new hybrid.
On-lane. Oh.
What did you say? Simulcell, simulcast, in-lane, online.
Simulcell.
Yeah, simulcell.
Simulcell.
On-lane and simulcell. That's right here tonight.
Love it.
I think everybody agrees the digital culture is necessary, right? It's the society that we live in.
And one big thing that we didn't talk about is that some of these auctions, like, for example, E-Block, and many of them, ACV, many of them, they sell the vehicles right where the vehicles are located. So there is no transport involved. And that diminishes the transportation damages, the cost going from here to there. The dealer can just say, hey, I know the vehicle is located at this location. That works for me. He can transport it if he's the purchasing buyer. And there is no, the auctions are almost in a sense used for marshalling yards in a sense. So that's becoming a big push as well, to just kind of sell the car where the vehicle is. And some of our cars, they end up in really remote spots, and that really does sound appealing to us, because trying to move it 300 or 400 miles just to where a human lives, is very costly just to try to find an auction close to that car. Sometimes you just bring the auction to the car. And
yeah, and to Sheila's point, I mean, I've walked down that road. I had a whole premise of sell it where it sits, and the challenge that I ran into was the repossessor didn't have space for it. And when you talk about NOIs, in some states it'll sit for 10, 15, and if you send an NOI into a California account outside of California, it's 20 days, right? So the repossessor is nickel and diming you every day, and also telling you to get that car off the lot because I got 5 others coming in. So that was the challenge I ran into with the sell it where it sits. And then it's the personal property, it's the wiping the death off the seats, it's the everything that has to happen to a repossession. But I had walked down that road a couple of years ago, and it was a challenge for me to find the way home on that.
Yeah, it's difficult to any degree. You're selling it in just the state it was repossessed in. That is a challenge in itself, because we do experience biohazard, and we do experience a number of things obviously are not very sellable marketing tools.
What percentage are you doing on eBlock, Sheila? Because that's who you use, right?
Actually, none yet. Again, that's something we're looking into. I'm very curious about that platform, and so that will be something that we'll be doing in 2023. And I'm going to explore that as well. But we're digital, and we haven't done too much of the sell it where it is because of the repossession, and because of the personal property, and because of the different limitations that we do have. And they are right. The repossession companies have limited space. They want the vehicles off as soon as possible. So, that is where the vehicles are sold, is at the auction for the most.
You looked like you were getting excited about that.
Yeah, that's again we're looking at how are we going to do it tomorrow instead of how we've always done it. And the remote location scenario is something that we're utilizing mobility companies for, so we can ground vehicles where they lay. And from the transportation aspect, what we're doing is we're partnering into some of the software that we've got, where a client can bid on a car. Let's say it's in Peoria and Illinois, and the buyer's in Atlanta, Georgia, where they can automatically click and get fees to transport that vehicle. For when they're bidding on that vehicle, they know what the transport costs are going to be. I think that there's huge opportunity, again, going back to using the Smart CRs, grounding locations, and then using the transporters on the backside instead of the front side to deliver the vehicle where it's going to go. I think it just opens up all sorts of avenues for selling vehicles at a lower cost.
Yeah, mobility is where we're headed, don't you think, in 2023?
Most definitely.
Yeah. That'll be one of our next topics, Kelly. Write that down.
Mobility. So,
great.
Scott, great segue on thoughts for the future, because that was one of the final questions I had on what direction are we heading? What direction are you guys heading?
Go ahead, Scott.
One of the direction we're going right now is more of a multi-channel marketplace approach, to where we're looking at inventory and grading out the inventories to identify which channel that the vehicle should be started in. I.e., should I offer this up through retail or online retail scenarios, or does it fit into direct online wholesale, or does it need to go directly to the auction? So we're looking at, I think what the industry's been screaming for years and years and years. We actually been piloting it for a year and had a lot of success using online, like car lots, shifts, and those type of vehicle or entities to liquidate collateral for us. So it creates a waterfall approach.
Yeah. Anyone else want to speak to?
I think as the technology has evolved, the end for us, as I see it, is a hybrid between the two. I still think the the 9-year-old 160,000 mile car doesn't do as well online as it does in lane. I think the dealer wants to know what he's buying, especially at those low price points. So it is finding that hybrid, similar to what Scott said. You're looking at the car, okay, where does this do best? And as our portfolio evolves, more and more will be going up that way, or running in both, depending on the auction partner. But I think that there's a hybrid approach that it's just finding the right dials that you turn to make sure you got them in the right spot. And that's something that I've been working towards for the last couple of years. And again, COVID taught us that it can happen, right? So the dealers who, I'm from back in the old days where you walk around Cade with your Kelly Blue Book in your back pocket because, you didn't have smartphones back then. And so it has evolved to where, they're running reports right there on their phone before they bid. They're pulling their MMRs. They're doing everything they need to do. I just think it's going to go that next level, but you've got to have both, especially for that age unit that needs a little more love.
Is Jerry still on the call?
No.
No? Okay. So, and Sheila, you mentioned is there anything you want to add? I know you said, you're looking for 2023 to do some of the digital.
We're just looking for different platforms. There's a lot of opportunities. I hate to just stick with, we put the car on OVE and consider that sufficient. That's great, but that's just one platform. And we would like to start, we're expecting the volume to increase. We have already dramatically increased this year, and we haven't even reached Christmas. And so we're actually, just because of the way the loans were purchased, the type of environment that we now have in terms of disposable, it's almost like a disposable world. If you don't want it anymore, or you're just tired of it, you just get rid of it. You can't afford it, you just get rid of it, and you don't really process the repercussions of that, perhaps like a lawsuit and garnishing of your wages, which is what we're going to do for you. And so a lot of people in this world and today, they just kind of, I love the BMW, but I'm just over it. And they just turn it in and they volunteer the car. And so we're just seeing a lot of inventory. We're going to have a lot of inventory, more so than what we, I think, anticipated. I think a lot of people will. And so I think, as somebody mentioned earlier, the older vehicle is definitely one that needs to run in the lanes. The dealers do need to hear anything that's over 100,000 miles, which is a portion of our vehicles. We do reserve dealer purchases, and so we do have the older units. We do have the brand new ones as well. It's just franchise unit with 10,000 miles, and it's just retail ready to go. We have those units as well, and so I just actually think that, based on the inventory and based on the volumes, we're going to explore as many platforms as we can that'll utilize the type of vehicle that we have, and that'll bring us the best money. And it's not always going to be in the lanes, but it's not always going to be digital as well.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it was you guys that drove the auctions into technology. So I think the way that I want to sum this up is, bring it full circle, is what is your advice to auctions right now in order to be sustainable in the future? What do you recommend they focusing on, or what direction should they be headed?
For us, the biggest critical thing that we have is the lack of communication that results in delays. Someone gets an email, we need to have the car checked out. We just find out that the car is dash lights on, whatever. Let's get that car checked out. Let's find out if we can get this repaired. There's just a delay with if it's a larger auction and we're only running a small handful, a small sale, then we suffer from lack of attention and getting things done. And so, Kelly, you've talked about a lot of times that you are proficient enough. Business is digital workflow. We've talked about that on the side, how the auctions need to prioritize in terms of this email came in first, we need to handle it, regardless if it's a miscellaneous account or if it's Ford or Toyota or whomever. All emails need to be handled in a timely manner. Same thing with the mechanic, they just need to be coming off of some sort of a queue. So, and that's digitally the way the work should be going. I think that's what we're hoping for. a little bit more streamlined on that procedure. I think that there's a little bit of a clog there. I think everyone likes to go digital, but then I think that they need the technology to back that up. And Kaylee, like you say, everyone has technology, but I think in order to become better at it, and as in this new world that we're heading, the technology needs to follow along with that, and take us. And I don't think it's doing it right now. I think we got it going, but we need a little bit more.
Yeah. Scott's? Same question.
I think, I mean, the auction's now to sell cars. There's no doubt about it. I think that they need to look at, all right, what's tomorrow going to look like, and all the ways that they can leverage their facilities, and leverage their services. We mentioned mobility. Mobility is going to be a huge piece where they can utilize their shops, their asphalt and everything else. I think that in tomorrow's world, that they're going to have to be more than auto auctions. I think they can leverage all the different services that they have to provide, and not focus on cars crossing the block. I mean, they may have a recon one car 15 times before it goes across the block, and generate revenue off that through marshaling and so on and so forth. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for them if they broaden their focus.
Think outside the blocks?
Yeah. Well, we've actually heard that too.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes. One of an auction that is a good friend of mine said that right now their auction is making more money off of storing vehicles than they are selling vehicles. So Scott France, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like, that is where we are going to see the
I've heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think just in the big picture, it's important, and I don't envy them at all, because they have to respond to what is coming from their customers, the consignor. But it is understanding some of these things take a while. Like there's an auction I know that's trying to do the EV thing. They've been working through permitting for 2 years now, right? So it is they started early enough where they'll probably be okay. But I mean, I think the big suggestion is you don't fall behind. However, I put a caveat on that, says I don't know what not to fall behind in, though, because I don't know what the next thing is that I'm going to ask you to do after I go to used car week, and say, oh, now you should do this too, because I sat through a breakout group. So it is it's not an enviable position, and I give kudos to my auctions they're able to keep pace with what's going on.
But to hone in on it more, is there something that if it could be improved at the auction, that you would refrain from sending cars to some other digital platform or something like that? What could be improved there?
Yeah, so, and again, my use of digital speaks to the car itself, right? And I still believe the older aged unit that needs love. I mean, in today's CR world, as good as some of them have gotten, are still not there to where you can get an accurate assessment as a buyer of what that car is in the aged unit. So you're going to bid that car thinking, okay, well, this could be wrong and this could be wrong, but I just can't tell from the pictures of the CR. And so I'm going to bid understanding that this is probably wrong. And then the money's lower, right? And it's, again, as far as we've gone, we're still not there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, ACV came out with that undercarriage. I thought that was the slickest thing out there. And that was a good step, right? I mean, but there's still a little ways to go, and there's, the technology's coming. But again, until you can get a true sense of that 140,000 mile, 10-year-old car that's marked as is, to understand what you're buying as is, I think the digital space will still be lacking those cars.
Jamye, do you have any questions?
I think this is a good place to wrap it up, because we are already over, but it's been so exhilarating that, we couldn't stop everybody. So, Joe, do you have any last minute comments? I know that you are our segue kind of the go-between between auction and consignor, and you,
And a
you
great
help
closer.
facilitate a lot of this. So
So funny. You guys said it all. The only thing I would say is I'm here for it, man. I mean, I think there's room for everyone here's success, and all the other partners we're talking about that aren't necessarily represented on the call, because we could sit here and talk about it. We often do, and I just love sitting here listening and hearing you guys talk about your individual goals, challenges, thoughts for the future, and whatever small role we can play. I'm happy to play it, and hope we can continue to expand it. Just as I know Kelly and Jamie are. You guys did a great job. And Jay and Ty, thanks for the forum tonight. And thanks everyone for contributing. This was fun conversation.
Wow.
thank you. We really appreciate you guys jumping on and hanging with us. And if there's anybody still in the chat at 9:35,
yes,
there's people here. I don't know, if they forgot that, we're in a live stream. We've been here forever. This is the way life is. Right. But I mean, this is automotive. So,
Georgia had an entire election during the course of this.
They've already had the recall and the runoff and
So Joe, how did it come out?
I love being surrounded by people who are passionate about what they do, and that's what really draws me to this industry, and keeps me motivated every day. So thank you all for taking part in the launch of the Jamie and Kelly show. We don't have a formal name yet, but
wait for it. It's
here,
coming.
here. I love
we have the logo. The t-shirts will be out soon.
Yeah, great.
Right.
Thank
What's
you.
even more fun, and I am going to shut up after this, I promise, is that we did get to hang out with all of our friends online, and we appreciate you guys for joining us. I know that, Scott Mousaw and Scott France, I asked you guys last minute and you jumped on, and I mean, I just feel like the show wouldn't have been as successful without you two. So thank you. And Sheila, thanks for sticking with us and being the first one to say yes. We appreciate you. And and to all of our support online, we really appreciate you guys. Seeing all of our friends popping in there, it warms my heart.
Really well said. Yes, you all were fantastic. This was a really great show, and thank you, Jamie and Kelly. Really, thank you for helping us put this together and taking the reins.
Did good, ladies. Good job.
It was awesome.
You guys are gonna be pro in a week.
Hey, let's do this since we're here in our final moments. Everybody wave at the camera. I'm gonna hit the applause button again. Pretend we're on the roller coaster, and we're, this might end up on LinkedIn. I don't know. So really, thank you all so much for such a great show.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
It's hard to say goodbye, isn't it? It's just hard. All right, we'll see y'all later. We'll see you soon. We'll talk soon. Call my people, have my people talk to your people. I couldn't help but think since you guys are still there, I couldn't help but think Sheila was talking about communication and staying in touch. I don't know if you know this. You may. Do you know what the kids use to stay in touch with each other? Right? Because they're on their phones, right? And they're, cars are coming and all that stuff. And, you know what they do? Is they use this technology called Discord. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
All the kids know about this. You go anywhere and say Discord, and they're gonna, they all know, or they're gonna pretend they don't. And but they use Discord. And I know, like, anytime anything's happened on TV, I have two boys. They're on Discord, and they're chatting, and they know everything immediately that all their friends are thinking the same, and they're sharing memes. And, I mean, if we had, like, an automotive Discord, and it may not be realistic because we're not the generation.
Okay, no, Kelly can create this for us.
Oh, well, here we go.
Well, we call that Slack in our generation, so we have Slack.
Exactly. Our generation has Slack.
I'm texting my daughter right now.
She knows. If she says she doesn't know Discord, I will be shocked.
Okay, I hope she didn't fall asleep yet, but
she's on Discord. I'm telling you, all the kids are on Discord, and you can share it. Like like in automotive, and so here we go. Yeah, the AVC Discord version, you could share the undercarriage, and now you're sharing a CR, and now you're saying that's crazy, and then someone else's, and it's absolutely immediate communication with anybody you want to, and you have different threads, just like Slack.
So my kids have not answered that question yet, but my husband, who is a high school principal, jumped in and said, I don't know anything about it, but it is a pain in my ass.
Okay, there you go.
Exactly. There you go.
Exactly. And I don't know how to use it. I just know of it. And I know they're hooked on it.
She knows what it is.
Okay.
She doesn't have it, but she does know what it is. I've never heard of it.
And it could be a younger thing. I don't know if it's tweens or teens or whatever, but...
Oh, and it could be she has it and she's just not telling me.
Well, there you go. Exactly. She doesn't want you on her Discord.
Well, I will say my 21, who will be 22 next month, just said, no, what is it?
Okay. So it's got to be a younger thing.
Yeah. Is it like the new Snapchat? Because I remember that came out when my girls were like 13.
Snapchat is such a dangerous, like, landmine. I don't know. You know? I don't know. But what I mean is, like, Discord is literally... Because we have a live chat going, right? And the live chat helps folks stay connected that aren't on camera, that don't have a microphone. It's that, but it's on steroids. So it's any topic. It could be like, let's say you're watching the VMAs or the CMAs or the MTVs or whatever they have, and each one of those award shows has its own channel.
So it's like a chat room.
But it's all chat rooms connected to one giant mall chat room. So you can jump around to different chat rooms, and I mean you can never leave. It's it's the metaverse chat. That's my understanding. And it's everywhere. You can No, I don't. I've thought about making an ATI account, but who in automotive goes on Discord, you know?
Yeah. You'd
right?
be way ahead of the curve there.
Well, I don't know if anybody would be there. It would be me and Ty.
They'll all be 13,
a bunch of teenagers that don't know anything about automotive. But yeah, no, but it's a fascinating. And so listening to Sheila, I'm like, man, and you're right, Jamie. Kelly is a perfect conduit to an idea like this, because how do you, and I ask it, how do you stay connected in a growing digital world? Because you can't have hot dogs in lane 8.
Yeah.
No, you need that omni-channel experience now, because you don't, and that's case in point, you don't know, what people are connected to. And, you bring up Discord and, maybe I bring up Slack, and, Jamie brings up Snapchat, and, everybody has their kind of thing. Right. So businesses have to be connected into all of those channels. You have to funnel in, and it's up to the customer. You're not doing the customer any type of service if you're not giving them options. And that's the big
Fishbowl. Is it Fishbowl for like businesses? Fishbowl. Is that what it is?
Now you guys are just making stuff up.
No, I think it's like a lot of chat rooms for business people.
But
I think it's like Fishbowl is the LinkedIn version.
I don't know Fishbowl
for what did you not decode?
Discord. But I think what you're hitting upon is Slack. Slack will look so slow to whatever comes next. Right?
Well, Discord sounds like it's a lot faster than Slack.
Oh, it
What I picture is when everybody was in those chat rooms, that it's all a video kind of thing. But I mean, and that's what it is. Everything has a camera on it now. I mean, you can't buy anything that doesn't have a camera attached. That's the selling feature. It seemed like 20 years ago we were always worried about Big Brother watching us, and now we're all carrying Big Brother.
Yeah, right. Now we're all Big Brother. Chris Chamberlain says, LOL, Jay, my daughter and her friend do these recorded video chat to each other and play them when they have time to watch. So
in the fishbowl?
I don't think it has anything to do with Fishbowl, but
okay.
Fishbowl. But I but maybe there's this.
Yeah, okay. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Your goal is your professional community.
Oh, it's real? Oh,
Yes.
Oh, okay. I never heard. I don't know what it. There's so much
I think it's what you're talking about with Discord, but it's
Okay.
like the professional version.
Oh,
so
it's
Kelly
that
just
right.
needs to like
I see.
She's not
create
test marketing
the
a new product.
automotive version of
Automotive fishbowl. Huh. Okay.
Look it up, Jason.
So-
I'm just here to teach
Yeah.
you new things.
I love. Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
To
I
learn
learned
new
a couple of
things.
new things because I don't know either of those. So
Well, maybe. So there's an opportunity here somewhere.
Yeah.
Live auction
absolutely.
chat. Yeah. And if we don't figure it out, somebody with, $1 billion will do it. That's actually what I say about transportation and all this stuff.
Well,
is that yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, this goes into the simulcast aspect, and we should have that call one day with Stephanie Miner from Car, who, she's Velocicast is in all of the Odessa auctions, all of the independent auctions, and it's, well, not all of the independent, but the majority. And, when you advance that technology, which is the video side and the audio side of everything, that's where you're going to come into how they can really put in some features that's, based on what's happening out in the world. So
I couldn't help but think about, I think I asked this to you before, and I just like to ask questions. Give me the VIN. Did I ask that before?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is? Give me the VIN.
I mean, I do because that's what my business is. I mean, is it you talking about like the phrase "give me a VIN"?
Right. Okay. So thank you. I appreciate that. So is it gimme the VIN or give me the VIN? And it's at Mannheim, Dallas. Give me the VIN. Here it is. GiveMeTheVIN.com.
Yeah.
You're familiar. You do you know them? That.
No, I just know
okay.
that that's what we do as well. So, I mean, you give us the VIN and then we tell you everything there is about a vehicle, right?
So this is a company's name. Give me the VIN. And if you go to GiveMeTheVIN.com.
Okay.
And they're called Give Me the VIN, and I just put it in the live chat, GiveMeTheVIN.com. And part of in this type of conversation is, it's not that I'm trying to give free promotion to anybody, but rather it's a topic of conversation because my understanding is, I can't think of his name, John, he's like a media guy, Give Me the VIN, and he's at Mannheim, Dallas, and they're taking live auction simulcast to the next level, to where it actually feels like Vegas sportsbook at the auction.
yeah, and they have a lot of tools and features. They used to have what was it called, that Auction Genius, which then turned into I don't know what it's called now. It keeps evolving into something else, but basically it surrounds your dashboard. So inside of the dashboard is the digital product. Inside of that dashboard is your simulcast, and all around it you have all of the tools that you need to make quick decisions. And and independent auctions are able to go into that flow because that there's integration everywhere. So like AutoNeek from Car, I don't even know whose company is what, there's
but I love, right, we're talking about this.
Car
exactly.
now. Yeah, Car kept AutoNeek.
Yeah, so it's they do promote, just like with OVE and all the the independent auctions are customers to all of these the corporate auctions with the technology, and those type of devices you can utilize it with any type of simulcast or
well, it looks like Give Me the VIN is more like appraisal lane and those kind of.
John Clay Wolf. I just thought of the name. John Clay Wolf. But I think the Mannheim, Dallas is the only location quite like the one that with the screens, and it's
wild.
It looks very futuristic.
Well, I mean, Mannheim has been pushing towards, they don't even have they do remote clerking now. They don't even, their whole goal was
remote
to
clerking.
be more digital, everything digital. And just like, the panel was saying, you can't move faster than the customer, in not so many words. And so you have a lot of dealers. The majority of dealers are still, they want a foot on each side of the door, if not their entire both feet in the lane, or some of them are coming around to online, but the percentages aren't there yet to say, hey, let's strictly go digital and do all of this stuff. So if the technology moves faster than the customer, it's just kind of hard to sustain your business in that environment. So
it's an excellent point.
Yeah, it's like an instant cash offer. And then John Clay Wolf has a lot of answers on the FAQ. But it talks about third-party leases and buyouts being offered on this platform.
So you just made me think. So what we need to do next is we need to bring the two of you on to a Cars on the Move. Me and Ty and the two of you. And we'll find, more of the reasoning and topic. But it's a different style of show. But you're the perfect duo to join me and Ty on a Friday at noon.
Okay.
Okay.
Done. Just tell us when.
Perfect. I don't know when. Maybe January. I think December's kind of booked and over. Which might be a new catchphrase. But January or February, are you all going to NADA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am.
No, you're not. Okay, Jamie, you're going. So what we'll do is, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But I like where we're headed. I mean, tonight's show was a clear success. I mean, do you feel that way? Right?
Yeah.
Clear success.
Yeah, it was definitely, and I think we were thinking that with the half hour, like, how are we going to get all these answers in there in that half hour? Because it really is a draw, I think, that we don't get to have those discussions enough until you go to a conference, but then everybody isn't sitting together having an open dialogue about it. You have roundtables and stuff at the conferences, but it was good to have this intimate space. So
absolutely. And you have so many auctions that want that information, but they're all fighting for the consignor's time, right? Going back to courting, I mean, let's be real. Who doesn't want to be a consignor? I want to be courted like a consignor. I
know.
They get the red carpet rolled out every time.
Absolutely.
And yet they don't. Well, it was interesting to hear when they don't. Right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Right. So,
I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either.
That was neat.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's good feedback.
From the outside looking in, you don't see that, right? And it's just like everything. There's two sides to every story. Every, family doesn't live in a glass house. All of those examples and metaphors.
What I didn't hear that I expected to hear was, I expected that they would have a hard time pulling everything from a corporate auction that has, all of the locations in sync to bring to independents and have them handle so much. But like some of them, I felt like there's consignors who are kind of chained to their situation just because they have that process in place and they've developed it. But these guys sound like they were, more than happy to distribute their inventory and teach the auctions how to adopt their process. So that's promising.
Yeah, the short time that I spent working with consignors, I never got the feeling that they were married to a major chain. If anything, I got the feeling that they preferred the intimate setting of an independent. And maybe it's just, to your point, Kelly, the size, right? So these guys do get their red carpet rolled out for them because of their size equals the size of the auction that they're doing business with, versus some of your larger consignors, which we didn't have, a Santander or some of those others.
I was thinking that too.
Night.
Well, and I didn't want to say this because I thought it might sound silly, but when you meet a consignor, is there a way to know what consists of most of the cars that they want to sell, whether it's repossession or rental? How do you find out those things? Because that will help determine other factors of, I mean, clearly United Auto Credit Corp, it can't do selling it from the repo lot like you could if you were dealing with, you know, dealer trade-ins or other types of vehicles that you could sell off of the lot. I mean, that's why backlot cars is called backlot cars. You sell it from the backlot, but there's no repo lot cars that, right?
Yeah.
No, but
Repo
that's
lot
why what
auctions.
Jamie was saying earlier, and I think it's our same mutual friend that, you know, found during COVID that they had to expand on their offerings with the auction and was able to start marshaling more and found a great opportunity and was making a lot of money from storing vehicles. So, you know, if people have land and, you know, that they can give up for that case, that's an opportunity. And that's what Scott was saying about the auctions need to start thinking outside of just running cars through the blocks and what else they can use their facilities for. So.
Yeah. And there's, you know, a lot of rumors around what does the future of auto auctions look like, and is it the Amazon sort of business model where auctions do become the marshaling yard? It was interesting to me that Scott France maybe was leaning more that way, but our other guests were not as online forward. It was still, you know, Sheila was still very much, I want to be at the auction on site doing this. And then you had,
aside from the
e-block hybrid, and then you had, you know, Scott France, who seemed to be a little more, you know, preferring the online space. So that was interesting to have the three different perspectives too.
Yeah. But you know what? They were all in unison when it came to the idea that the world is going digital and you have to be a part of that. So it was, you know, they are very realistic about the future. You know, it's like, it's great. The auction industry was great the way it was, but we have to go to where it's going. Mm-hmm. So that was, but I mean, I have a ton of ideas, so we could,
yeah.
I
have so many ideas, but,
it's great.
Yeah, we were brainstorming today before this, but even on this segment, there's so many things that have come out just of tonight's discussion that
it's nice getting that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't want to kill the mood, but we're still live.
Oh,
yeah,
which is great. And this is what Ty and I like to do. We just keep talking live.
We're gonna have to name this show the After Party. Like
exactly. Well, right.
By the way, I wanted to tell Ty, and I bet you a lot of people have this, is you try to say hi to Ty in the chat, and you can't because it keeps changing to thank you. And I hasn't given me the little X, so I'm gonna give him a nickname, and every time I come on, I chat to say hello to him, I'm gonna call him by that nickname.
Well, maybe it should be thank you. So
I thought that's what she was gonna say. I really did. I was like, she's gonna just say thank you instead of hi from that.
It's awesome.
Well.
All right. Well, we gotta end it sometime. But yeah, we are now this show's almost at the 3-hour mark, which occasionally happens. But what I thought was neat is that you all, I mean, you filled. It was 90 minutes. You still had a great show going. Your guests were great, both of the Scotts. I know it would have been great to have Jerry a little bit longer. He had some great input. Sheila had so many great points. And then, Joe really rounded it out. Penny was in the live chat for a while. I mean, really just a solid a showing, and it's neat because it really does feel like an extension of Used Car Week in many ways. And so it's wonderful. Great job. Well done.
I told you we were going to change your life.
Yeah.
And we have more ideas.
You'll never be the same. All right. Thank you.
How'd you like our character?
Oh, I loved that. Where'd that come from?
Kelly. She's the creative.
How did you do that? What did you do?
I do graphic design.
Graphic design, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was neat. I saw it. I guess I just saw it show up on LinkedIn today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was really neat.
Well,
the
wait
way
till
you grabbed.
the t-shirts come out.
Oh, are you serious? Really?
The swag is next.
Oh,
I have
my
done that
gosh.
actually. You know, one of our auctions.
That'd be neat.
One of our auction customers, I did a t-shirt with him as the cartoon, and his body was like Superman and going like this, but it had his name inside, his initials inside of the S where the S goes. So yeah, I've done that. But.
Wow, great. Well, keep doing. No, it really was very creative, and thank you for doing that. It was cool.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we're on to something. And Auto Auction the musical? Okay.
I've been dying to hear Jamye sing, because that's her.
You can almost see things like that's a real idea.
I know.
That's a.
I have a daughter in college right now that's a junior, and she is on a musical theater scholarship. So I think we just need to transition this to her and let her start working on that
And
for me.
I'm not going to write it. I mean, this is your guys' arena, but there's something there.
I agree.
It could actually be a thing.
How fun would that be?
That would be crazy. And then, like somebody performs a song from Auto Auction the musical at a future used car week. I mean, this is a crazy idea.
You know what would be great? A flash mob at an auction.
Oh, yes.
That would be all of a sudden in the lane. Could you imagine? And a bunch of people start coming down. Like, I could
awesome.
see. I did a flash mob before. I used to work for a daily deals site, a national site, and at a baseball game, we had a flash mob, and we all,
I've never been
we
a
had
part of
the
one.
orange shirts. Oh, really?
No.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
That
it was
sounds
a lot
awesome.
of fun.
That sounds neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Well.
jumping off.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up the show. So thank you so much. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. So
Thank
much
you
fun.
very much. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night, both of you. Thank you. All right. Cool. All right. So here.
Here we go. Now I'm jumping off.
All right, take care. All
Bye.
right, bye. Okay, so there's the end of the meeting. Okay, so that was really fun. That was check. That was mic check. A very interesting show and lots of fun and crazy information. So, all right, let's wrap this up. We're at 3 hours. I want to thank Rapid Recon, Preowned Auto Logistics, Superflow Systems, Ship Your Car Now, McCollister's Transportation Group. Of course, I want to thank Kelly Bianchi, AuctionVcommerce, and Jamye Carpenter, AutoCheck Auctions. What a great job putting this show together. In the panel, we had Scott Mousaw from United Auto Credit Corp. We had Scott France, and we also had Sheila Tedesco. For a brief time, we had Jerry Barker, and then we had Joe Miller of AutoIMS. Thank everybody in the live chat that showed up. Angela and Penny and Michelle and Eric Elizondo was in here too. Shout out to Eric and Carrie and Ron and Candy at Seaport Service, Chris Chamberlain and Carlos Braxton. Really do appreciate everybody for saying hello. Thanks again for the super chats there from Superflow Systems and Chris Chamberlain. The channel really appreciates you. Thank you so much for doing that. Please do jump in the live chat every time we have a live show. If you miss the live chat, put it in the comments below. You know, if you're watching on demand, in a couple days I'll have the time codes. You can click on those and jump to sections of the video because it's a really long show. How would you get through it otherwise? Look for the podcast. Join us tomorrow on Live Carrier Advice. Thursday, Dispatching Live. Friday, that EV show with Scott Case is this Friday on Cars on the Move. And actually, that's going to be at 2 o'clock Central. We normally go live at noon. Be sure to subscribe to ATI Auto Business. Let us know how we can help you. You can send in an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com, as we used to be Auto Transport Intel. We still bring the intel, but we're bringing the business. My name is Jay. I'm the host and founder. Thank you so much for joining us. Here comes the car hauler. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody. Thank you very much.